show up on everyone's?
It did, but not like...
No, it's not massive.
It's as loud as my voice.
That was...
Thump it.
You do it. It's going to go through the tape.
Oh, that's really awkward.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah, that did it.
Okay, alright.
Fuck you.
Okay, alright. There's no gimmick this time.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
This is I couldn't think of one in time. This is just a normal introduction.
You did bring a bell.
I did bring a bell, but yeah.
Is this the introduction?
Oh, it could be if you want.
It could be. Well, why don't you just defect one anyway? Just do one anyway.
This is the gimmick. He doesn't have a gimmick.
God, he's come full circle. He crossed the Rubicon of gimmick. It's like when you try and break every taboo and every cliche and you realise, like, ultimately, that nothing is real. And why is anything... And now it's like, you've gone through the wormhole of gimmick to discover that the ultimate gimmick is not having a gimmick at all.
And welcome to the podcast. As always, I am Jordan, and I am joined by Sam.
Hi.
And Eddie.
Hello.
Have you noticed that, you know, they capitalise black now?
Oh, we're back. Oh, straight on this, are we? Okay.
Yeah, you know they capitalise black now when it as pertains to race.
Yeah.
I've noticed another little trend recently. Just want to draw your attention to this tectonic move of language. It's not called gender reassignment surgery anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's called gender confirmation surgery now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Just want to throw that in there.
Okay.
There's nothing to really say about that.
Yeah.
Other than just to add another breadcrumb.
Oh no, reassignment implies that
you're changing something.
You're changing something, but no, I was right all along.
Now you are merely allowing the expression of something that's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just want to plant another flag on the road to hell that we're on. There's nothing to really say about it other than we told you. We took first they came for the.
I'll say, what happens if someone non-binary?
Oh God. Yeah.
Has gender correction surgery. What happens there?
I don't want to open the maths problem.
Yeah, we need a blackboard for this shit.
Yeah.
It's like that thing that's still from A Serious Man, where it's just like a wall.
Yeah, and it's just equations. Yeah.
I don't really know what gender binary, non-binary. I don't really know what that means. I'm non-binary. I'm one person. We're all non-binary.
Yeah.
Well, they are binary, right?
What?
No. Okay, so when they say they're non-binary, like they don't subscribe to a binary understanding of gender. They think it's fluid.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're all binary. We're all non-binary, right?
Are we?
Yeah. We all subscribe to the fact that there are two genders.
Oh, you're talking about us three now? Or just
Yeah, us most people.
Okay, alright.
But obviously most people are non-binary. You are unitary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just love it because now every single person's just gone, those three have just said they're non-binary. Cool.
Yeah,
we've just opened a whole new demographic. Like,
we're either a 1 or a 0 as opposed to a 1 and a 0. Which is ironic because have you ever met a non-binary person who's a 10? I think not.
Samuel Reese using language against them.
not even just against them, against us.
Yeah.
Against us. We could talk about the Emmy nominations a little bit.
Okay. Is there anything we need to say other than Tim Blake Nelson wasn't nominated? How dare you?
Yeah, Tim Blake Nelson wasn't nominated when 3 performers from Watchmen. Watchmen was, recognised substantially.
Yes.
Yep. And good, because it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not 3 nominees for Best Supporting Actor, and Tim Blake Nelson's not one of them. I see what they've done. I know what they're doing.
It's pretty obvious what they've done. But I mean, he has
all the actors are black. Just in case you didn't know, the audience didn't know.
And like one of them is only in 1 episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird because obviously in some award ceremonies, Watchmen's been categorized as a drama series, but before they announced that it was just going to be it was going to be at most a limited series.
Yeah.
But at the Emmys, it's in the limited series category. And because of the way that mini-series, limited series work, you need only be in 1 episode to count as a supporting actor.
Right.
Whereas for the drama and comedy categories, I think you need to be in half the episodes.
Okay.
And if you're not, you're a guest.
Right. Okay.
So, and then if this was a drama series, he would be a guest actor.
Okay.
But because it's a miniseries, you can count as supporting. So yeah, there's someone who's good. He's good in the episode.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't know whether he deserves to be
That's the
recognised.
thing. I don't think there's any of the black actors that have been nominated that don't deserve recognition. They're all good performances.
It's more recognition over Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah,
who to
is
me was the standout.
Yeah,
of the show.
he has his own episode,
Yeah.
and he's in the rest of the show, and he is genuinely one of the best things about it.
Yeah, one of the most interesting characters.
Because it does that wonderful thing where he's in the show, and he comes across as kind of like the cool silent type.
Yeah.
And then they do an episode on him, and they completely just
strip that away.
Yeah, strip that away.
Yeah, he starts
without
off...
it feeling like a different character.
Yeah.
It still feels like the same guy, but now you're like, oh, now I see him for what he really is.
Yeah, not philosophically, but he's kind of the facsimile of Rorschach, isn't he?
Yes.
For the modern age, he's very taciturn. And obviously you don't see his face for a lot of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he was the best thing about it in the pilot. There was one line, I can't remember what it was, and I was like, okay, yeah, he's the best thing about it. When they talk about, so a police officer is killed, and the killer throws, I think it's a cabbage, through the windshield.
Yes.
And he says, the police chief asks him, was there another type of vegetable?
Yeah.
And there's a long pause, and he just goes, not that I could ascertain. It's like, okay, he's the best thing about the show already. I've got a thing for laconic, barely doing anything characters. But yeah, I think it's a travesty that he wasn't nominated.
Yeah.
The Emmys have just gone completely down the toilet.
They
really have.
Were they ever, good?
It's one of those things where I can't remember... I don't know, when would I start becoming conscious of the Emmys? I guess around 2008, 2009 or something like that. I can't remember being excited and enthused by the nominees every year. But it's in retrospect. You look back and go, oh Christ, they used to have some sense.
Yeah.
Just in as far as the kind of general understanding was that every show, you didn't get more than 2 nominees in any one category.
Right.
Which... if there are 3 deserving, nominate 3. But as a rule of thumb, it was a good rule of thumb because there's a diversity of nominees in that case. Now they just pick 6 or 7 shows that they like and just fill every category with it.
Yeah.
So from Succession, which is a good show, I think there are 3 of them in the supporting actor category, and that is the general trend now. Why?
Yeah.
It's just so lazy.
I feel like that's... isn't that like a general thing with award shows, though? That you'll only get 4 or 5 blanket nominations.
Well, yes. So
you get rare, at the Oscars, for example, you'll get films nominated for visual effects and makeup that aren't really nominated elsewhere.
Yeah.
But in terms of directing, editing, writing, they're all typically the same film, aren't they?
Yeah, you get 5 or 6 things that are present in most categories, but then the rest are filled up by there was this one great supporting performance in this one show. Yeah. They don't do that anymore. They just like I said, it's 3 or 4 in each category. It used to be 5 or 6 nominees in each category. Now it's 8 or 9. It's just clunky and awkward. But yeah, they've completely gone down the toilet.
Yeah.
What else is worth commenting about them this year? Is that it?
It might genuinely.
Yeah.
Okay, have you seen Hollywood?
No, nor will I.
No, because that's what I want to know. Because obviously, they got a couple of nominations, like Jim Parsons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And at this point, I was like, I haven't necessarily heard great things about this show. Didn't think the trailer looks particularly good.
No.
But it's up for awards.
Well, because it's, as far as I understand, without having seen it, it's a liberal revisionist history thing. So they go back to the 50s, and it's about gay people in Hollywood, and it's a liberal fantasy, basically.
Okay.
You thought The West Wing's a liberal fantasy, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like I said in the last podcast? The West Wing seems like Republican propaganda at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I saw an advert for TikTok, which you're on, Eddie.
Oh, well, no, I'm not on it.
Okay. What's
He
that
has
then?
some standards.
Yeah.
I've watched TikToks.
You have the app?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I did at one point just to watch and scroll because it's easy, quick comedy. Well, comedy in inverted.
Yeah, please don't use the word comedy.
Yeah,
That means something on
you
this
get one in
podcast.
about 1,000, which will make you laugh.
Okay. But it's Pavlovian, right? Some of it. It's got to be like someone falls over, and you're just going to laugh at somebody falling over.
Yeah.
So okay. Yeah. What is that? Then we need to distinguish comedy from that.
Yeah.
Upcoming Sam's Lexicon, I guess.
I suppose, but people have drawn that comparison before, and with that kind of comedy, it's the equivalent of a jump scare, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm going to laugh at it.
It's not an achievement.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Yeah,
you know?
it doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean, I laugh at the word cock like 90% of the time.
Yeah,
just because it makes me laugh.
Farts are funny.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, it's dumb shit like that.
I encountered a word on... I say encountered. I found out about a word on Urban Dictionary.
Okay.
So okay, I've been looking for that word. It's basically whenever dialogue is pompous and kind of, unwieldy, and maybe it sounds good, but nothing's really being said. Deepity.
Deepity. Okay.
It's deepity dialogue.
Deepity.
It's like
Deepity
doesn't
dialogue.
like The Counselor would be a good example of deepity dialogue.
Okay.
So are you familiar with The Counselor already? It's a Ridley Scott film from like 2015. Like universally panned. But Cormac McCarthy wrote the script. He's a very prolific, not prolific, but a really good, esteemed novelist. He wrote No Country for Old Men. And he wrote this film, and Ridley Scott directed it, and it had Michael Fassbender, Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem. It's like, this is going to be amazing. And then all the lines were like, the snake of destiny wraps itself around the enigma of fate. What? What are you talking about? So that dialogue you could refer to as deepity.
Okay.
So that's not Sam's Lexicon. I'm introducing that word to an existing lexicon.
Deepity dialogue. Would Stephen Moffat's dialogue count as that when it's not
sometimes
working?
Yeah, sometimes. I guess with Moffat, there's a lot of it's time related or it's plot convoluted-y.
Yeah.
I suppose deepity would generally refer more to like philosophical nonsense.
Okay. Yeah, like that dialogue, nothing's being achieved by it.
Yeah.
Whereas with Moffat's dialogue, it's usually
schematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to get shit done.
Yeah.
But he's trying to make it good on top of that. Or
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I saw an advert for TikTok, and it was a guy talking about, you've probably all seen it. It's a guy saying, if you're not British, this isn't for you, don't listen past this point. And then he kind of waits 5 seconds and goes, if you voted for Brexit, what's going on? And then that's the advert. And then like the slogan of that was, enjoy a curated feed tailored to your interest. Mm-hmm. You can't advertise an echo chamber, right?
Is it an echo chamber?
What? That sentence.
Well, if it's just catered to your interests.
A curated feed tailored to your interest.
Yes.
That is an echo chamber. I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to do it.
No. But does it count as an echo chamber? If it's just like entertainment, does it count as an echo chamber?
Well, it's not as just entertainment, is it? Because the example they use is a guy saying, all you who vote for Brexit, what's
going on? Yeah. But I feel like that's not representative of most of TikTok. Most of TikTok
I don't know.
Most of TikTok is just people falling over and being random.
Well,
sure.
That's just one trend that's been on TikTok.
What?
The idea of, like, while you're all listening, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's called the how's my form, thing.
Meaning?
Don't ask me that bit.
So, how's my form videos are...
So it's like,
am I thinking the right things, basically? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, it'll be, they could bring up something, they can be like a caption, and it'll be like, this is the easiest example to use in this day and age. Someone will put like a thing on top that just says all lives matter,
right.
And there'll be a hashtag how's my form meme, and then it'll be like, they'll wait like 5 seconds, and then it'll be like, now all the racists are in the room, how's my form?
Right.
And that's what it'll say.
Okay. Right.
But yeah, that's the easiest one I can think of in this day and age.
So I'm not saying the slogan is representative of TikTok, because I don't know. I've genuinely never seen any TikTok in my life. But it's more and again, it sounds innocuous enough. Like, it's just whatever you like will show you. But it's one of those Orwellian. It's got one of those, like, that connotation of, if you look at what that is saying, enjoy. It just seems like an advertisement for the echo chamber, which
it does. And putting it putting it after a Brexit comment definitely gives that impression.
Yes,
I don't think that. Obviously, that counts.
Yeah,
like if you're a pro-Brexit person, then TikTok will tailor it so that fucking plane's going over now. We're not even near an airport.
We can't do anything about that.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
we've never had a plane going over.
We must have at some point.
Not like that.
No.
I mean, have they been running for the last couple of times we've done this?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway. Yes, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
That advert definitely gives the impression of, whatever you believe, we will cater to that.
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't think that most of TikTok is that. I think a lot of TikTok is just people trying to be funny.
I don't know. That's the thing. This is not a comment about TikTok. I don't know. But that advert I'm just talking about the advert like on its own terms.
Okay.
It feels like the echo chamber is something that certain people recognize. It's not universally acknowledged, but people know it's there. But it's like you don't address that elephant in the room.
Okay.
So we don't talk about creating echo chambers.
Right, okay.
But that to me seemed like a barefaced advertisement for it.
Yeah, okay.
Again, just planting another flag on the road to Armageddon.
Right.
No, but with TikTok, I mean, it's about to get banned in America.
Is it though?
Well, he's doing his fucking hardest.
Yeah. I don't really know the story there, other than obviously it's China.
But there's part of it. There's suspicion that Chinese are using TikTok to spy.
Totally believable.
Yeah, completely believable. And obviously, given how big TikTok is in America, because most of the big TikTok stars, TikTokers, whatever they're fucking called,
they live in a mansion together, don't they?
Some of them do.
Yeah.
But you've got people who've got 80 million subscribers on TikTok, and they're posting 15.
Actually, I have seen one TikTok video. I saw it on YouTube, but I think it was a TikTok video. I showed it to Jordan. It was two women, blonde American young women, attractive, and they live in one of these TikTok houses where all these people get together to create
the hype house.
The hype house.
Oh, you're aware of it? Oh, Jesus.
Yes, I know what the hype house is.
So they sit down together at a breakfast table and talk about who's going to pop up in whose video and what nothing.
I'm not going to lie, that does also sound like Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
They just sit around and chat.
Yeah. These people are multi-millionaires, and they live in this mansion.
Although, this is the thing. So I've seen, there is, the most subscribed is a girl she's 16, it's called Charlie D'Amelio, I think it's pronounced. And
this is,
but she's
I'm so done with I'm not. I know I've got he's older than his years. Kind of, you're only 25. You're not 50.
Oh, man,
genuinely,
we all feel old. It's fine.
Genuinely sick of everything that the modern age throws.
I know.
At us. It's pervert. 16.
Yeah.
And what does she do?
Post 15-second clips
of
dancing.
Dancing. Is that a euphemism?
That's kind of what I think that's all she does. The point I was trying to make with her though is she's the one that's got 80 odd million subscribers on this.
Yeah.
But I have seen the things about it because she takes it very seriously because it is her job.
Yep.
So she does most people that do a TikTok a day, that's quite normal for them. Yeah. But she does 4 or 5 because she feels like she can't not because she's made herself this big person on it. And I'm like, but then if this app gets killed in America, they're just going to do what Viners did when Vine died,
right?
Which is all come onto YouTube.
Or invent their own platform.
Or, a
lot of Viners now operate on TikTok. They jumped to that because it's similar in that respect.
But the ones that are successful on YouTube were the ones that were not smart because most of them are thick as shit, but
please don't say this.
No. But at least had maybe a business sense.
Okay.
Going in the background, they understood at least a little bit of that of how can I do this and be smart and
they know that shit munchers can be sold shit.
Yes, which surprisingly is difficult for a lot of YouTubers apparently.
Yes. Us included. we strive for something higher.
Yeah.
Than 10 years time, put the supercut of us just being puerile and just making cock jokes and stuff.
I guarantee you get 1 million views.
Yeah. Don't you agree? Never cater to what the base impulses of what the audience might be. Do you that's a good ethical practice?
Well, it depends on your ambitions. If your ambition is just to be famous, then
I suppose
the best thing to do is probably appeal to a base audience.
Yeah.
Whereas if you want to just create, or if you want to, if your ambition is beyond just getting as many people to listen
Eddie,
as you can.
We're going to need you to show some leg from now on.
On a podcast.
On the podcast.
Sorry, no. On a podcast where we don't film it.
Yeah. It's a start, okay? They'll know it's happening. They can imagine it.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. Just so you know, Eddie's naked.
Eddie's
right
naked.
now.
He's rubbing
Oh,
himself.
how funny!
I mean, I would have worn shorts if I'd known that was what was going on.
Oh yeah, the video you were referring to, the two blonde
Yeah.
women, they were pranking their housemates by being naked.
Pranking in scare quotes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They were pranking their housemates by being naked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're two like
A house that is-
19-year-old, 20.
Yeah.
Are you sure you just weren't watching porn?
No, genuinely. I saw this on Twitter, I think. It was a Lad Bible article.
Oh, God.
And it was saying two women prank the world by going naked. And I'm like, okay, how is this a prank?
Yeah.
So I took the bait.
Yeah.
You know, I did watch the video that like they wanted me to. But yeah, it's just these two bitches. These vacuous, stupid bitches.
Who are probably 60.
Yeah, well, God, hopefully not. But they're in like their massive.
But then again,
saying today we're gonna.
You say that, but then they put that content out there for views.
That's still not acceptable.
No, it's
is
still
it?
not
Yeah.
acceptable. But it's not like I'm the bad guy for watching it.
Well,
No, I meant
well,
more. I meant more. He said she was attractive earlier on.
Yeah. Oh no,
That's the point, isn't it?
Let me clarify.
It's their attractive women. I mean, it's censored. They don't show
yeah.
anything too sensitive.
But
that is the point. It's supposed to be like, oh, these naked women.
Yeah.
Because that house is populated almost exclusively by men.
Yeah.
So it's probably their idea, like, oh, you could do a prank where you go naked.
Well, let me clarify. When I say attractive, I mean like they are Barbie attractive.
Yeah.
They are like
Conventionally
attractive. Like the kind of attractive that I do not find attractive, right?
Yeah.
Especially given their personalities. And we're gonna prank our housemates today. Oh my god, that sort of shit. We're so random. And then they defrock and they just walk downstairs, and the housemates are suitably shocked or appalled or
Just think
just
about
like,
how much they got paid for that.
Oh yeah, I know. So they go around the house, and all these content creators, all these geniuses, they're having a meeting, a tete-a-tete, in, like I said, over the breakfast table, like, oh, what nothing are we going to do today? And then they just walk in, and everyone just looks at them like, what are you doing? And men try and cover them up, like this is inappropriate.
Yeah.
And then they order food, and the guy is clearly a little bit uncomfortable, but doesn't really register it. And then they go to a supermarket, and people are clearly a bit uncomfortable, but nobody really does anything about it. I fail to see what the prank is here. What's the prank?
No, well, it's not a prank. It's look at these naked women that are attractive. You want to watch this, right?
Yeah.
That's
They're not
what
even
it is.
naked.
It was, but it's something someone would click on. Yeah.
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 I did. I took it. I took the bait. Not to see attractive women, honestly, because there's porn. I don't have to watch a censored
Exactly, yeah.
of two vacuous bitches.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, I've said it before. I understand that like OnlyFans makes things feel more personal. Like that's obviously
OnlyFans. Isn't that a euphemism for showing some leg?
Well, I mean, people.
Well, it's like a striptease thing, right? Is there actual nudity on OnlyFans?
Yes.
Oh, there is. Okay.
But you pay for that's what
You pay for it, yeah.
Generally-
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah,
you'll
and
pay for that.
they're generally
No,
like.
but I sat there and went, I understand that it's more personal.
Yeah.
Because
And I think generally, like people, so like Belle Delphine, I think she's got an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So there's people who have a following anyway.
Who's Belle Delphine?
Oh god, she's a whole thing. She,
John
right,
Grant.
you do not need to
The
know
cliff-
who Belle
the cliff-
It's
Delphine is.
just the more I know, the more stupid I'll be.
well,
Yes.
Okay.
the main thing to note about Belle Delphine is that she, I think it was like a year ago or something, she started selling her own bathwater online.
As in like a bath water that she's been in.
Yes.
Okay. Not like her own brand of bath water.
No.
Well, yeah, it's Belle Delphine
Yeah.
bathwater.
But with her essence in it.
Yes.
Okay.
And she sold out very quickly.
How old is she?
18,
Is she?
I think.
She looks a bit older than 18, but it wouldn't surprise me. Oh yeah, this is the internet. Sam.
I'm searching Belle Delphine on a fucking pod. She's 20.
She's 20. Okay. I guess that's better. I don't really know.
No.
It's not, is it?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, she's got an OnlyFans now because she's already got a following, and there are obviously people because again, she's like a conventionally attractive woman, and I think a part of her gimmick is that she does like erotic faces. It's like there's a specific type of erotic face that's exclusive to anime. I don't remember the
Well,
name
like she
of it.
pulls a cum face.
Yeah.
Her own brand of cum face.
Yeah.
Well, it's mimicking like an anime cum face, which has a specific
Can
name.
you
but
do it for us so we can
no.
see? No? Eddie, can you do it?
No.
No.
I would do it if I knew what it was.
Yeah. I don't know how to do it because it's strange.
Yeah.
But
Can you explain it then, at least?
Well, it's, you know, like
Paint a picture with
the
words.
tongue comes out and the eyes are crossed and yeah.
That,
But she's attractive, so she gets away with it, you know.
okay,
Rather
yeah,
than
that
you
doesn't look like a cum face. That looks like I want a cast from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's it.
That's her, is it? Oh, the eyes like the X's. Is that like the eyes would be X's in the anime?
No, because that signifies death.
Oh, is it?
Right?
Yeah. They do call it Le Petit Mort.
Well, that's quite a mort, isn't it?
That is quite a mort. That's quite a big mort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the point I was trying to make with OnlyFans,
Yes.
Right.
to get a little bit back on track to that conversation, was I understand it's more personal, but I don't get, other than that side of it, why you pay for OnlyFans, because there is so much free pornography online.
I think it's because it's usually because of the person, right? Like the reason I use the example of Belle Delphine, there are probably a not insubstantial amount of people who would want to see Belle Delphine naked.
Oh yeah.
Probably the people who bought her fucking bathwater, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it is, isn't it? It's the same reason people still kind of fantasize about actors and actresses, even though there's a infinity of porn on the internet. It's the mystery of it. It's like we don't know what they...
And deepfake. That's why like all deepfake porn is usually Emma Watson or some famous actress, you know?
You can't like have a crush really on a porn star, can you?
No.
Really?
No.
Because it's, okay, we started at there. We started at 100. So, whereas with, you know, there's a bit more mystique to, Okay, well, that all sounds terrible. Yeah. Well, talking about apps, I'm an on-off user of Tinder.
Okay.
When I say an on-off user...
Have we chronicled your relationship with Tinder? Your relationship
That's
with
the
Tinder.
new app we're making.
Tinder,
you can't
yeah.
tell anyone yet.
Yeah.
I do think we've spoken about it maybe once or twice on the podcast before.
Right.
Well, we both had it at one point.
Yeah.
We spoke about it on an old podcast.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's only been a couple of times.
Yeah. When I say on-off user, I do mean just of the app. Like, I don't think it's ever generated anything for me other than reconnecting or connect me to someone I already knew. I've never like gone out on a Tinder date, right?
Not worth it.
Oh no, God, I know. But it's just kind of interesting. I know that sounds like an excuse, but it is partly interesting. And so I've been conducting a little social experiment where I changed my settings to show me men as well as women.
Okay.
Now, I can't bring myself to match with any or to swipe right on any man. I just can't do that.
Well, then you're not committing to the experiment, Sam.
Well, the experiment was to see how many likes I got in comparison to women.
Right.
Women tend to like me maybe a couple a week.
Right.
Right? Really, like, scant. It's you know, slim pickings for Sam on Tinder.
Yeah, but you're also doing this in Ponty.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah. But I mean, I got a radius.
No, but like if you did it in Cardiff, for example,
a little bit more successful,
you get
I
more
think.
success.
Well, we'll see, I suppose. But yeah, so I changed to men, and yeah, it's disproportionate. I'm getting, I think since we started. Oh, there you go. Got another one there. Since we started,
I'd love it if this turned out to be a female like thing. It's like,
since we started, I've had 4 new likes.
What, this podcast?
Since we started this podcast.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, men.
we've been recording
there's a
for
lot.
half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. 4 new likes in that time.
Men do be thirsty. It's fair enough.
Yeah.
Eddie says as he takes a sip of water.
I think this proves there's such a thing as gay privilege.
Oh, what are you on about now, Sam?
Well, it's just easier, isn't it?
What am I going to have to answer for in future job interviews this time?
What I'm saying is,
Mate, you've got a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
it is demonstrable that were I gay, my life would be easier.
Right.
In this respect, at least.
Okay.
It would be easier to get laid.
Yeah, would it be easier to maintain...
An erection.
Well, if you were gay and you were getting laid,
Yes.
then yes, it probably
Yes.
would be. I'm talking more about like... But then again, I don't know if that's Tinder's game. Like, despite branding itself as a dating app, I don't feel like people use Tinder to meet someone. You know?
Tinder...
It wasn't invented for that. It was invented for
hookups, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, again, the unspoken, like, they can never say that, but that's obviously what it is. But Tinder, I think, because it's the biggest, it kind of covers people actually looking for relationships and, you know, everyone's on there.
Yeah.
Even though the general thing is, it's for hookups. Whereas I think Grindr, for example, it's a lot more honest about this is for hookups.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Grindr is full. This is what you get in.
Yeah. So now that I'm able to look at men's profiles on Tinder, I've been taking account of the differences. One thing, men seem a lot more innocent on these dating apps. It's like all their pictures are that you get the occasional like gym guy with a shirt on.
Yeah.
But it's just men in like nice suits, like a wedding or something.
Yeah. Like your typical guy thing is
Yeah.
a picture in a suit.
Yeah.
Or looking fancy.
Yeah.
Because you don't really... The whole thing with like Tinder is you don't really want pictures with other people. Like,
Yeah.
So you want it just to be... So like, you're not going to do you and the lads pissed up in a pub.
No.
So you'll go for, oh, when did I look good? What would be a good picture?
Yeah, what's a nice picture?
You know, I wore a suit to that, you know, I wore a suit to that graduation or whatnot. Like, when I had it last time, a colleague of mine used to have a boat and he took a picture of me, like, relaxing on the boat, and I put that up there.
That's just false advertising. You don't have a boat.
You don't have a boat. You're catfishing with your boat.
The amount of women...
Someone else's boat.
who were like, oh, he's got a boat, and then you didn't have a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could also tell them on Tinder that I make 6 figures a year.
Yeah, but
it's
you
not
don't do that.
fucking
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like...
have you ever had sex with anyone who was under the impression you own a boat? Because I think that's rape.
No, I have not.
Okay.
I've let myself down. As soon as you said that, it was just through my head. It's like, right, think of all the nautical terms.
Yeah.
Make a rape joke that uses like a boat term. Or...
Come up with any?
No.
No? Okay.
Port, starboard, steer, sails.
Yeah. Bow,
motor,
stern. Yeah. Bow and suck. I don't know. Yeah, so there's like a nice picture and the blurbs are just like sincerely written. I'm into cinema and I like going out for a cup of coffee and this, you know, and I understand maybe there are reasons for that. Like, so women, not all of them, but a lot of them are, if they're attractive, it's just all kind of them trying to look hot. And they
holiday pictures.
Holiday, yeah, a lot of in the mirror in Ibiza pictures.
Yeah.
And there's like maybe one line that'll just be, please be funny or impress me. Or which is like,
what's your best pickup line?
Yeah, it's like the work is on you.
Yeah.
And so because men are visual animals, that's all they need. Maybe like for women to be attracted to a man, maybe they do need to write a little bit about, you know, who they are and just like look like a nice guy can. So I understand why that might be the case. I'm not going to speculate on why I'm more popular with men because I think whatever I say is going to sound bigoted.
Yeah.
I am going to speculate. I don't think it's going to sound bigoted, honestly. Here are some possibilities. There are fewer fish in the gay pond, and so, someone, right? That's one thing.
Also, half the people that use Tinder have probably deleted several times, and you are someone new.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
There's that. There's the possibility that men swipe indiscriminately more than women do, and so you're just matching on accident a lot of the time.
Also, that's inevitable.
That's inevitable. And then the less politically correct possibility is that the gay fish are less discerning about who they fuck. Do you think that's true?
Yes.
Okay, so it's politically incorrect, but it's true.
Yeah, no, like...
Gays...
I think... No, I think they are, like, it's just, like, it's just a lot easier, I would say, I think.
Why is it easier? Because men are just easier work, frankly?
Well, maybe it's just like, oh, we're all on the same page. You know?
What do you mean?
Well, we're both gay. We're both on the same page, as it were.
But you're both straight with a woman.
No, I know, but there is that pre-established.
It's like if you go to a gay club, it's a hell of a lot easier to pick up in a gay, like to meet someone and hook up in a gay club, than it is in a normal club.
Do you think that is fundamentally because there are just fewer people from whom to choose, or is that because men care less?
In that regard, I would say men care less.
They care less.
I think so, because also, like, I mean, have you ever been to, like, Pulse or anything?
I'm into Pulse, but I've been to gay clubs.
So, in Pulse,
like
they have bouncers on the toilets for a reason. I've literally walked into Pulse, gone down the stairs, and then...
Goes the stairs? Oh, go on.
You know, like, gone down the stairs, and they'd be like,
fancy a bit?
You know, like, you're like... I haven't even had a fucking drink yet. Like,
Yeah.
I've been in this
Fancy
club
drink?
2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, buy me a fucking Jaeger bomb first, at least.
I don't think I've ever been hit on by a gay guy. I was in a gay club once, sitting at a table, being just a bit uncomfortable. Not because I have any problem, but just because I'm me. You know, I'm a very buttoned down straight man. I suppose it's more any kind of expression of sexuality. I'm going to get a bit British about it, and I think obviously that's a lot more out in the open in a gay club.
Yeah.
I was sitting at the table looking a bit like on my guard, with my arms crossed, looking a bit stern, and a man cruised me and walked across the room to me, and I just made eye contact with him, and he just last minute kind of went, all right. I just walked away. So that's quite funny. Yeah. So you think it's because they just the standards are lower?
Was that the same night that I Chunder fountained?
No.
Okay.
You did do that just after you'd been to a gay club.
Yes.
Oh my god! That in retrospect, was that a homophobic Chunder?
That was I've had 18 flavoured vodka shots Chunder.
Okay.
Because we were in, I don't know which one it was.
Kings.
Oh, well, we came out of Kings.
Yeah.
We went to the one before that.
We'll say we went to Kings after a fucking uni thing.
Yes.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But we went to whatever the club near that is. And they had like flavoured vodka shots. They had like smoky bacon flavoured vodka and cherry flavoured and all these different
Was it
types
on
of
the same side of the street?
It was, yeah.
Okay, that would have been WoW when it was...
Yeah, I don't think it's there anymore.
No.
I like that one.
That's where Buffalo is.
I like that one because you had like the upstairs and then you go downstairs to where the toilets are and there's like a tiny little dance area that's never open.
Yeah.
So if you just wanted to chill for 5 minutes, you just go down and just sit in the
down.
dance area where there's no one around.
Yeah, WoW is where Buffalo is now.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Buffalo.
But yeah, so what happened was we came out of King's, which was the drag bar. I felt like I was going to throw up, so I sort of put my hand over my mouth to stop myself throwing up because I was drunk and I thought that would work, but I threw up. But it sort of like went through the holes in my fingers, just sprayed.
Yeah, that's
up
Spider-Man vomit.
Yeah,
that
all
just
the way down the
reminds me
street.
of that walkabout in like first year. Fun time.
The problem as well there was I was wearing a coat, so some of it just sort of went down my sleeve. But they wouldn't let me back in to clean myself up.
No.
Nor would any other club let me in. So I just had to walk around Cardiff.
Yeah.
Because I had no way of getting home.
Yeah.
So until everyone was ready to go home, I basically just had to walk around covered in vomit.
Oh, many a night. That's
Well done.
Oh, the youthful nights in Cardiff.
Yeah, so
I would say just on that quick tangent, my favourite like thing of that, like in terms of throwing up, because I don't throw up often after a night out, but after your birthday last year,
yes,
throwing up outside a church.
Which is like a statement, isn't it? Yeah.
So
Thank God you weren't outside a mosque. Thank God you were that's all I'm saying.
That's all right. The mosques will help.
The mosques will help.
Yeah.
Will help what though?
Throw up.
Okay. Throw up.
They'll probably just come out and all of them just come out, line up next to Eddie and just throw up with him. Solidarity.
Inshallah, all out. Okay, well, I've never done generic Arab impression on the podcast before, so see how that one's received. So as far as the social experiment goes, I realise I have to stop soon because I have found myself thinking, if I'm going down well on something relatively innocent like Bumble, for example, or just Tinder, how would I go down on Grindr? And I think I should stop before I start giving ironic blowjobs.
So Sam, how did you become gay? I just didn't want to make a fuss. I did it for a laugh, and I was like, I guess this is it now.
Yeah, I stuck to it.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to, So yeah, I think I gotta stop this train before it goes off the tracks.
I mean, I've considered using Bumble because I like openly admit I am not good at being the first person to start a conversation in that regard.
Yeah.
And obviously, because Bumble is like their unique selling point is the women talk first. Although I've very briefly used Bumble before, and my experience of that sometimes was a girl would go, "Hi, give me your best chat up line." It's like, right, so you're still doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah, it's or it is just hi.
Yeah,
terrible conversation. The art of conversation is dead.
But because if someone said to me hi, I'd be like, right, well, you usually want a pick-up line.
Well, the thing
Give
is,
me your best pickup line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's seen as like amateurish to just send, "Hey, how's it going?" or whatever. Like, oh, that's just so basic. But I feel like it's easy to send a cool pickup line over one of these things. You've got to kind of approach it surely as you would in real life. If I ever went to chat up a woman, which I never would do, it would be, "Hey, how's it going?" I wouldn't just like throw a pickup line at them. I'm just doing it. It's just like a sociopathic.
I mean, the most I've done is offer to buy someone a drink.
Yeah, or something like that. Like, fancy a drink, but yeah, not this cool one-liner or the stupid joke. It's just.
I can't even think of what would be a cool one-liner, which wouldn't sound ridiculous coming out of my mouth.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, I would never do it.
Yeah.
It'd be, "Hi, I'm a human being. You're a human being. Fancy a bit?"
just walk up here. Fancy a bit? Like, yeah, no, I can't see anything I could say that would...
Yeah. Okay, I've been watching The Morning Show.
What's
the Morning Show? Apple TV show.
Jennifer Aniston.
I think it was the first thing they put out.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Steve Carell. It's about a morning news show, and like a Good Morning America sort of show.
Yeah.
And it's a male and female anchor, and the inciting incident of the series is the male anchor, played by Steve Carell, is accused of sexual misconduct and is terminated. And then it's about how they deal with the aftermath and bringing a new co-host and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So on its face, it's going to be one of those more of this bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's not, which is interesting.
Ooh. Well, you wouldn't cast Steve Carell as the Predator, would you?
Well, I don't know, because he's done some interesting stuff, outside of all the comedy malarkey. He was in Foxcatcher, playing a deeply weird kind of,
Yes.
Not psychopath quite, but, along those lines. So he can do that. And, but like, from the off, so it hits the news, and he kind of has his legal team around him, having an angry breakdown saying, "I didn't do anything illegal. It was consensual. Yeah, it was an affair, but that's not against the law, for fuck's sake." And you kind of like, well, he's an arsehole, and so it probably was non-consensual, yada yada.
Okay.
I'll jump ahead a bit. So as the series, because I finished the series now, as it gets toward the end, it starts to paint him more as the villain again. But for the first half of the series, it's like, oh, they're taking an interesting stand on this stuff, which is, it's universally acknowledged, even by the accusers, that it wasn't rape and it wasn't non-consensual. It was inappropriate.
Yeah.
Right? And I gotta say, there is something equally weirdly, not hilarious, but kind of funny and powerful about Michael Scott screaming, "I didn't rape anybody!" It's like, oh, Jesus, I don't know why that, like, hit me.
Yeah.
That's like one of the very first scenes where he's like, "For fuck's sake, I did some shitty things outside my marriage, but I'm not going down for this," kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the tack the show takes is he starts trying to like rebuild his image he wants to make a documentary about, first they came for the rapists, but I was not a rapist, so I said nothing. Then they came for the, the sexual assaulters, or the sexual assailants, but I wasn't, so I said nothing. Now they're coming for men, who have just done things that maybe they shouldn't have done, but not like that.
Yeah.
And he goes and talks to a comedy actor played by Martin Short, who's been embroiled in a scandal, but he is a predator.
Okay.
And that's like the unspoken thing between the two of them. Like, but you are a predator. We are different. It's like, okay, this is good. Like, this is a refreshing...
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But is it possible that someone who is not sympathetic to, I guess, men, or at least someone who is of the mindset of, oh, well, if a man's been accused, then it's true, no questions asked. To them, is this show like completely condemning Carell?
No.
Is it possible that because you have sympathies for people who are thrust into that situation, who have done nothing wrong, you are seeing nuance where perhaps no nuance is intended?
Oh, no. I think you'd... So one of the things I've been mindful of late is liking, because of the political climate in which we now exist and the corporate age of entertainment, I am wary of liking things just because their head's in the right place.
Yeah.
I don't want to go around saying this film is good because its ideology is correct.
Yeah, exactly. Because we can't,
Yeah.
like, you know, if just because the other side is quality no longer matters to them, doesn't mean quality no longer has to matter to us.
So that's something I'm always thinking about. No, I think the show is going for nuance because he maintains that, you know, relatively speaking, he's innocent.
Yeah.
And characters that you are meant to like generally and broadly agree with that. So Mark Duplass plays, I think he's like the main producer on this news show.
Yeah.
And he goes to visit Corral and is like, listen, just stay in your house. Please don't cause a firestorm. Let it blow over, all right? And then Steve Carell kind of says, you know, this is McCarthyism with a different name. And Mark Duplass, the character we like, says, yeah, look, we're agreed. This is an overcorrection and normal guys are getting thrown under the bus. I'm like, okay, the show's position is there are degrees. And the women agree with Steve Carell.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston's like one of his best friends and that, you know. But as the series goes on, it starts to kind of suggest that maybe Carell is seedier and a bit more off than you do. But it's like, oh, you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to, you know, this was a fairly interesting, if simple, all things considered, nuanced take on this whole situation.
Well, at least it doesn't sound like propaganda.
It's not that.
Because that was a conversation we had a couple of podcasts ago, wasn't it? You were talking about, was it Misbehaviour and St. Francis?
Yeah.
And how they were just propaganda.
Yeah.
Because the film's position never changes.
Yeah, it starts and ends with the same idea.
Yeah, like propaganda, art is the exploration of an idea, propaganda merely states an idea.
Yeah,
that's the crucial difference.
Yeah, art is not knowing where the ending is when you start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas propaganda is. It's like, we want to convey this sentiment.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, the morning show is not that good. It subverts expectations. Billy Crudup is a standout in it. He's really good.
Okay.
He kind of plays the guy that runs the news division and is kind of like a very predatory capitalist, like whatever's going to benefit the show. He's really good in it. It's kind of junk food in the sense of it's all faces you recognize.
Yeah.
And doing nothing particularly groundbreaking, but it's weirdly, given its subject matter, it's a comfortable watch.
Okay.
It's weird. It's like, oh, this is safe. This is a safe watch. Yeah, the morning show is inessential. You don't have to watch it.
Okay.
But it is weirdly escapist.
Given that it's subject matter.
Okay. I overlooked it initially because of its reviews, right? Because it was like 60% around that. But then I read some of the reviews, and they were saying things like, the show doesn't have its head in the right place regarding Me Too. It doesn't double down on it. It should go the whole hog.
Right, okay.
Another review said, it's made by the 1%, for the 1%, by a 1% companies. Okay. Listen, maybe criticism was always ideological, and we just never noticed it. But, God, do you see it now? And it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, there's nothing to count on now. If criticism's ideological, how do you determine what's worth watching and what's not?
I saw a review because Destroy All Humans, the video game Destroy All Humans, the remake has just been released. I don't know if you knew that they were remaking Destroy All Humans. No. I've seen reviews for that where people are commenting on because what they've done with Destroy All Humans is they haven't re-recorded any of the dialogue. Obviously, the game has been remade from the ground up and they've redone all the assets. Yeah. But the original dialogue they've kept, they've just remastered it, which means that all of the lines that were in the original game are in the final product as well.
Yeah.
I'm not intimately familiar with Destroy All Humans, so there's no like moment where I can point to and go, oh, that wouldn't be allowed anymore.
Yeah.
But I think there's like a scene just before you start a boss fight where you assume the form of an admiral.
Yeah.
And you go into a military base, and there's like a general, like a general who's, like shouting. It's like, we're going to take down these damn communists.
A Dr. Strangelove kind of.
Yeah, we're going to take down the communists, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Because that's like the running joke of Destroy All Humans. All of the things you do as an alien are attributed to communism.
Yeah, because it's set in the 40s.
50s.
50s, sorry.
Yeah, set in the 50s.
Yeah.
And in the background, it's not focused on, but in the background of this general giving the speech to his fellow soldiers, there's like a border with a map of the world on it.
Yeah.
And there's just like arrows pointing to different countries. And it's got like an arrow pointing to China. And it just says ninjas. And it's got like an...
China?
Yeah, well, it's either China or Japan. And then it's like pointing to Russia and it just says commies and shit like that. Which, of course, you wouldn't... If you were making that game for the first time nowadays, you wouldn't be able to do that.
No.
But because a lot of... there apparently, according to this reviewer, there is dialogue in the original game that has obviously made it into the remaster that is just completely inappropriate. And for them, they said, for me, that was grounds to stop playing the game altogether.
Right.
And yeah, it's just coming off the back of what you were saying, that like, you know, you can't get away from it now with criticism. It's always looking at the ideological stance of something.
That's because if you want to understand what satire is condemning, you have to think about it. Satire does not point at something and go, this is bad, because it's satire. And so having ninjas and commies is clearly satirizing the jingoistic American view of the world.
Oh, absolutely. That is destroy all humans to a T.
Yeah, it is not advancing that, you know.
I did find it interesting that the same reviewer basically said, I don't think this is satire is a valid excuse.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, irony's dead, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we are losing a solid barometer for what's worth watching now. And I may just have to start watching things that actually interest me. Instead of
perish the thought.
Instead of just gorging on zeitgeist.
Yeah. Well, we definitely need to, because we said at the beginning of the last podcast we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
We genuinely had nothing to talk about. I don't know if you noticed, audience.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was nothing. I'm surprised you even brought up a show. Genuinely.
I know. Well, I did realise that my relationship with TV is that Christmas episode of Vicar of Dibley, where Geraldine Granger is invited to all the different houses, and she's having to force broccoli into her mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, even if this is good, there's just too much of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just I'm feeling full all the time.
I do have one thing to tell you about.
Tell.
So it's been labelled as like a conspiracy, and it's about Tom Hanks. So what happened was
he's not real.
No, that's not the conspiracy.
Okay.
The conspiracy is that he's a paedophile.
I see.
Okay.
Right. But this came out because there was a picture of him in Australia, obviously when he had COVID. And his trouser leg was ruffled and people thought it was an ankle bracelet.
Right.
And then there were people going, oh, yeah, you all thought he went on TV to say he had COVID. That was the cover. He was really under like house arrest over here. Because he got arrested for paedophilia.
Sure.
And there was like there's like a thing about him like being part of an elite celebrity child sex ring, which also apparently has like Ellen and Oprah in it. Like,
okay.
But obviously it's all
interesting.
It's all like bollocks.
Ellen and Oprah.
Yeah, like those are just like.
This clarifies my theory then, which is they clearly it's just a cynical, nihilistic attempt to topple all public monoliths. Yeah. Which is you just named three people who are pretty much loved by everyone.
Yes.
There are people who take against Ellen and some of the stuff that she believes, and some very few people who take against Oprah. But these are three of the most popular people in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. But this was like a whole thing. But then the fact that it wasn't really being reported by the major news outlets
because it wasn't a story.
No, but that's the thing. So because it wasn't being reported by like the major news outlets, it's like an actual thing. Because they were like, well, if Tom Hanks got arrested in Australia, most people would know. Yeah. They were like, but no, it's because they want to hush up because it's Tom Hanks and everyone fucking loves it.
That is a brilliant exhibition of like the Ouroboros psychology of conspiracy thinking, which is they're all in on it. Trust me, the news media will want to cover it up. It's like, but I haven't heard about it. Exactly. Yeah. So the fact it's not a story is confirmation
that it's a story.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't win. Yeah. You just can't win. Yeah, that's fucking mental. Yeah.
Because as we know, there isn't a single journalist on the planet that would want to break a story as massive as Tom Hanks, Oprah Winfrey, and Ellen DeGeneres are the figureheads of a paedophile sex ring. Yeah.
That's pure.
Journalists just don't have that kind of ambition, or that sort of desire for having the story.
Ambition. My view of journalism.
I would say the film of that would win all the Oscars.
It would. Yeah, my view of journalism is tanked, right? But so forget even like the ambition to uncover that story. Just given the climate, you're winning. I don't know how many prizes for breaking that story.
Oh yeah,
even cynically, like you're gonna want to break that story. Yeah, that's. I was really thinking about that the other day about who would be the worst. Most egregious, I can't believe this guy turned out to be this way.
Oh, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. Like Mr. Rogers, obviously.
Well, look, I said the thing with Tom Hanks as well, though, is obviously... Like, you see him in certain films, like, he's lovely and stuff. But he is the guy that voices Toy Story. Yeah. And that's from childhood.
Just all of Toy Story. All of Toy Story is Tom Hanks.
No, but you know what I mean? Because of that. Yeah. Like, that's from childhood.
He's the voice of your childhood.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've lost one idol.
That him being or her being?
Ian Watkins.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see.
I've lost one idol
Yeah.
who turned out to be a child rape.
Yeah, pretty bad one as well, as it turns out.
So I've lost one guy.
The judge said you're the most horrific predator I ever encountered. So yeah, it's like...
that's fair enough.
He went whole hog. It wasn't like a bit of fiddling in the park. This was... This was, admin. Yeah. It was admin.
It was a job, frankly.
It was a job. It was time consuming.
Yeah.
No wonder they lost 2 albums of shit. He had other stuff going on. I saw this a new comedy special released. I think it's on Netflix. A writer for Saturday Night Live called Sam J.
Okay.
Never heard of him before. But I think he's a black gentleman.
Okay.
And the blurb for this special, the stand-up special, was... Comedian and Saturday Night Live writer Sam J serves up fresh takes on relationships, travel nightmares, the audacity of white people, and more.
Okay.
Like, I don't have a problem with that. Chris Rock and they all do jokes about white people. But it's like, okay, that's acceptable. Do you think we'll ever come all the way back around and realise that, actually, it's all unacceptable to say stuff like that? Or is that just the status quo now? They can say blanket things about white people?
I would say, certainly for the time being, it's the status quo.
But it's like that's just buried. It's the assumption of...
I just love those, the whites are audacious. Yeah. Deal with it.
The audacity of white people. I haven't seen this, nor will I, because I'm not going to... Fuck that guy. If that's his blurb, I'm not going to listen to him. But, yeah.
Again, I'm sure he would
just another flag. Maybe this segment should be flag planting or something. I don't know, like on the way to the end.
Well, are you done with your flag planting?
I'm done with I've got one more...
I almost said fag panting, and that was not...
Fag panting.
Yeah.
That's the Tinder thing.
Yeah.
I've got one more thing to talk about.
Okay.
But yeah, no more flag planting.
Okay, alright.
Alan Parker has passed away.
Yep.
I don't know if you know Alan Parker.
What's that?
He's a film director.
What's he done?
Nothing you would have seen.
The Commitments.
Yeah, have you ever heard of The Commitments?
Not really.
Have you heard of Midnight Express?
Oh, I've heard of Midnight Express.
Okay, have you heard of Evita?
No.
Have you heard of...
Fame.
Are we just going to go through his entire...
Well, I'm trying to what you actually would... There's only 2. Fame.
I know of Fame.
Malone.
Fame.
Yeah, you're thinking of David Bowie's song.
Okay.
I would like...
Fame makes a man... That's
right, okay.
Yeah.
I would like to point out I've brought The Commitments up on this podcast before.
You have? Yeah, you have. I think I said then that I hadn't seen
Certified Alan Parker fan.
No, it's more the fact that I've brought it up before and you still don't know what it is.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I'm ashamed to say that I'd never seen an Alan Parker film. Like, I hadn't got there yet. You know, I hadn't got to that point on the list.
Yeah.
But yeah, he knew how to direct. Alan Parker. I've seen Midnight Express and The Commitments, and both are very good.
Okay.
Would he like The Commitments?
No, I don't think you'd like that.
No.
Is it like grassroots directing? Like these are people, kind of like, is it Mike Lee?
Yeah.
Is it that kind of directing?
Oh, it's not kitchen sink.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's not kitchen sink dramas, no.
Okay.
No, I meant more... So The Commitments is about a group of people who get together and become a band, basically.
Right.
In Ireland.
In Ireland.
Okay.
Soul band.
Yeah. It's because obviously I like Sing Street a lot, and that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, well, I knew it was a precursor to Sing Street,
Yeah.
but God, I didn't know how much of a precursor it was to Sing Street. Yeah. It is like... Sing Street is borrowing so much from The Commitments.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Does it retroactively taint Sing Street?
No, because it's homage. You know, it's not stealing. It's an Irish,
right?
Not musical, but sort of musical.
Yeah. But also that was
like even down to the bunnies.
Also looking at Ireland at that time as well is the part of the point with The Commitments.
Exactly. But there's like a character in The Commitments. They go and visit him, and he's got bunnies. I'm like, why don't you put your bunnies down? Like, my dad will eat the bunnies.
All right.
And obviously,
I like bunnies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that is a blatant reference.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, I didn't know how much like Sing Street was taking from it. So I recommend it in that sense.
Okay.
And it's a good film. I recommend it.
Okay.
I'm not sure you'd love it.
Oh.
Because it's old. But
I like old films.
Yeah.
We talked about this. We talked about this the other day.
Name one, Jordan.
What was the oldest film that you like, Eddie?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, he likes the 30s films.
Well, that's just cheating, isn't it? That's not a film. That's just like pop culture. That's like saying, "Oh, my favorite film is Groundhog Day."
I mean, my favorite film is
like how many Groundhog Days?
My favorite film is It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, but it's cheating.
Why is that cheating?
Because that's like that plot is everywhere. Like
that
film has just been absorbed into the fabric of pop culture. It's not an entity anymore. It's just
like
fabric.
So the Wizard of Oz you can't enjoy because it's so famous.
Actually, is the Wizard of Oz older? Or
39?
It's 39 is the Wizard of Oz. I'm not sure when it's Wonderful Life came out.
I think it's 40 something with Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
40, I want to say 42.
As do I.
46.
46. I was going to say, making It's a Wonderful Life in the midst of World War II is like, have you looked what's happening? It's quite naive.
Well, you need that, don't you? You need... I wonder... I was actually thinking about this the other day.
The thing, it came out the year after the war. It's a hope... It's kind of got hope
that's
to it at the
interesting,
end.
because I don't know when it was made. It probably would have made in 45 or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's something interesting about that. It's like it's a post-war film that's very optimistic about life.
Well, that's what I was thinking about this the other day, actually, because a lot of stuff around that time, it's supposed to be uplifting, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've just been through a war.
Yeah.
We're going through a recession. Everything's kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Let's make entertainment that's uplifting and happy. Whereas you've got like everything until COVID came along, everything was going okay.
Yeah.
And so art nowadays typically it's very like Nolan-y and like introspective and
right.
It deals with like darker issues and stuff like that. Like you've had I know it was a recent example, but like The Last of Us Part 2 came out. Everyone universally has said that it's a fucking miserable experience.
Right.
And it's basically just, oh, aren't we all shit?
Right.
For like 30 hours. That's the game. Isn't everything shit?
Yeah.
Aren't we all shit? But we were able to have art like that because we were living in a world where everything was going all right. So we were allowed to create art that was a little bit darker. Whereas
I wouldn't say that.
The point I'm leading up to is, do we think post-COVID we're going to see another uprising uplifting art? Like people just want to be happy. Let's just make happy things.
Maybe. I mean, the problem is we're not going to see the results for like 3 or 4 years.
No.
I think before that happens, we're going to get the preachy.
Yeah, well, so the two trends I've noticed pre-COVID, the cop rage stuff, so a lot more ideological filmmaking, and making points. There's always a character who's trans, and that is increasingly common. And the other thing would be, I think we're all very tired because everything is so quick.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of nostalgia for the 80s.
Yes.
Those were the two big things.
That's actually music.
Yeah. Music as well,
in terms of the 80s, in terms of like what's in the pop charts now.
Yeah.
It's people using like
samples
redone versions of old 80s beats and samples from 80s.
Yeah.
It's really big in music.
Yeah, because...
Hey, there was no COVID in the 80s.
Yeah.
The 80s.
Yeah,
well, it's just, but like you could also put like slightly miserable lyrics to a happier beat in the 80s and everyone would have still gone along with it.
Yeah, the original Mad World is kind of upbeat. It's got like a funky beat to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But if you listen to the lyrics of Mad World, it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, they brought up the idea of being happy, sad in Sing Street. You can do that with 80s music. And I feel like that's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
80s music
There's
is
something
best for that,
weirdly
definitely.
versatile about 80s music, isn't there?
Yeah.
So it's so much more versatile than modern music.
When I was growing up, I thought the 80s were the worst decade for music. I genuinely thought that, because it was all ABBA and stuff. At the time, I hate when they were more 70s, but at the time I hated. Now it's like, I don't know how I ever... I love 90s, like I think because that's closer to my... age and when I grew up. That's my decade for music with Britpop and grunge. But yeah, 80s definitely is the best, like as far as I'm concerned, the best decade. But that's just my taste, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I like the 60s for like Dylan, the Beatles, the Stones.
Yeah.
Cash was the 60s? Was set?
50s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah, Cash as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 60s, every decade. Every
decade was good.
Every decade was good.
I would say, actually, to be fair, Dylan's still going.
Yeah, but no one's going to remember Bob Dylan as being from 2020s, are they?
Well, he got a #1 album this year.
Did he? Okay, but I feel like...
What's his competition though, Eddie?
I feel like...
he didn't have massive competition, but like the fact that they called it a very good album from him.
Give me a song from the latest album.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't.
Right.
But I think
his epitaph is going to be "The Answers Blowing in the Wind," isn't it? It's not going to be Gone Electric Bob Dylan or
Highway 61.
Highway 61 Revisited.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, Happy Sad definitely. That's Joy Division. All that. That's my jam. The jam and my jam. So you think It's a Wonderful Life is disqualified because it's just so popular?
No, I don't think.
I mean,
that.
I
but it is.
I also like
a bit,
Nosferatu, if that helps.
I do think that.
well, that is old.
Yeah, that's 22.
Yeah, that's very, very old.
What's the oldest film you like, Jord?
I think we said the other day it was Goldfinger, wasn't it?
Yeah, so 64.
64, yeah.
That's the oldest film, not that you appreciate, but that you like.
There are films older than that I appreciate.
Yes.
I'm talking about films that I like, that
Yeah.
I would actively seek out.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know Taxi Driver came out after Goldfinger, but that's a film that I respect.
Yeah.
And I appreciate, and I see its virtue
Yeah.
and its qualities.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't seek out Taxi Driver.
Right.
Goldfinger I would.
Okay.
Yeah. But with It's a Wonderful Life, I think for me it's like Alien, where we're sort of past the point where I could watch that film now. Because it is so, just woven into the fabric of like any sci-fi show, or even just any long-running film series will do the It's a Wonderful Life trope.
Yes, I know what you mean. Like you've seen all the, its influence manifest, and the techniques are better, and so you know. But don't you watch those films in the mindset of this is the prototype? This is the granddaddy?
But that's exactly the thing. It's like, oh, this is the prototype. This is like going back to Alien. It's like, yeah, this is good, but I've seen every iteration of this has been done.
But you've seen 1,000 iterations of the Die Hard thing that it started. But you still enjoy Die Hard, right?
Yes, but that might be because I saw Die Hard relatively young, so I hadn't been ruined by its
offshoots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas with Alien, I have. It's a Wonderful Life, I have. Groundhog Day, I didn't.
Right.
But yeah. What would you call those? You've got Groundhog Day and It's a Wonderful Life are always the big two for me, where that entire plot is like repurposed.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, they're just they're prototypes, aren't they? They're the prototypical examples. They created a trend.
Yeah, but I want to know if this might be a Sam's Lexicon thing, where a film's plot, a general plot, is sort of repurposed in other things.
Proto-narrative.
Yeah, like a proto-narrative.
Let's call it that.
Okay.
I just made that up.
Okay.
Let's go proto-narrative.
Oh, no, I didn't play the theme song.
Well, let me sit on it then. Let me sit. For now, as a placeholder, we'll say proto-narrative.
Okay.
Just like put half the theme song in after the fact.
The thing is, like realistically, those plots were done 1,000 times before, probably, in books and plays and more obscure films.
Yeah.
But they popularized it.
Yeah.
So, even It's a Wonderful Life, it's probably been done before,
But it's based off of a short story.
Oh, right, there you go.
But it popularized it to such a degree that everyone sees that as the origin of that story.
Yes. I mean, it all goes back to Socrates and Aristotle and all that.
Yeah.
But, yes.
Although, my favourite thing, though, with It's a Wonderful Life is obviously the fact that it wasn't successful when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's now a cult classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's most films I consider classic. I don't know whether it's retrospective trying to create a success narrative of like this film wasn't very popular when it came out, and then it became. I don't know how true that is because you usually read that about classic films that they weren't well received. Raging Bull wasn't well received when it came out.
And Psycho was.
Yeah.
But that Psycho had the whole thing of you can't if you tried to show up late to watch the film, you didn't get let in.
But I don't think I buy it wasn't popular when it came. It might not have made a lot of money.
Well, it didn't make a lot of money.
Yeah, it takes time for things to germinate. It's very rare that something comes out and everyone is unanimously, this is like Parasite would be a rare exception.
Yeah.
Where everyone is like, this is fucking a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Whereas films like Raging Bull, they say, it wasn't well considered. It won Oscars. It was up for Best Film and The Shawshank Redemption is the big one. Only because of DVD and video sales did that become. It was up for Oscars.
Yeah, but like how many films are up for Oscars where the general public will look and go, what?
Oh yeah, sure. But like this idea that they were critically overlooked, I suppose.
Okay.
Because it takes a while for things to stick.
Yeah.
All right. So, in conclusion, I like Alan Parker films.
Okay. This is your Cornell moment, is it? Like, for me, Chris Cornell, I didn't...
You're saying I'd kill myself on the podcast.
No.
I know you're trying to spice up the viewers, but like...
No. Like,
viewer experience.
I knew of Chris Cornell, but I didn't really start listening to him until after he died.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I discovered him after he died. It was like, oh, this guy was actually...
Yeah, his death expedited my getting to his films.
Yes.
Rather than eventually. Midnight Express is an interesting one. It's not as good as The Commitments, but that's about an American student in Turkey who tries smuggling hashish on the plane.
Right.
And he gets arrested for it, thrown in a Turkish prison. What's supposed to be for like 3 months or ends up being 30 years. It's one of those stories. And it's a true story. Apparently.
Oh, right.
Or based on a true story, I should point out.
Okay.
For something that's based on a true story, it takes some liberties with the truth.
Oh.
So I think the thing it is received most flack for, I think then as well, was its portrayal of the Turkish as being, uniformly terrible and violent and hostile, like spitting at the prisoners and all that. I don't really care about. Like, I know in the real world that Turkish people are not like that. It's casting them as the villains, right? Whatever. It's the 70s.
Yeah.
And so in real life, the guy who wrote the book about his experience said there were loads of homosexual encounters in prison. I was never raped. I was never sexually assaulted. You just did it. It was part of life. But in the film, he has a male friend who comes on to him at one point, and he's just like, no. Like, respectfully, but no. So it's like they couldn't make him do that because maybe we would like him less if he did that. So that's very much a product of the 70s. And like in real life, he was transferred to a sanitarium and then was like put on a dinghy. And then when he got to where he was going, he kind of jumped off and swam ashore and got home. In the film, a guard takes him into a room to rape him.
Right.
And he attacks the guard and kind of accidentally impales his head on a coat rack. And then wears his uniform and just walks out of the prison.
Okay.
So you can't... I'm all for, like, it doesn't have to be a documentary. But that's taking some liberties. With
yeah,
right?
Not quite the same.
John Hurt is in it. He's very good. It's bleak. It offends you where it should, and it offends you where it maybe shouldn't.
Okay.
But I do recommend it.
Okay. Yeah, I might give him a shot. I might give him a go.
Okay, Doctor Who.
Before we get to Doctor Who, should we have a little break for like a little moment of fun?
Okay.
A little fun break.
Has it not been fun so far?
Well, you've sort of like took the baton and just went for it, didn't you?
Okay.
It's like, oh, have you heard of like cultural issues and social issues and
doing my job.
Yeah. Well, let's just have a little moment of just fun.
He's going to bring up death.
It's going to be a hypothetical question about...
No, it's not going to be a hypothetical question. Okay. It's going to be a little fun little exercise. Okay. Have you heard of the...
Exercise isn't fun.
so, mate, I'm already on like 8,000 steps with a day.
Oh, fine. Fucking... let's just sit here quietly, shall I?
No, go on.
I'm trying to contribute to this podcast.
What's your fun?
Have either of you heard of... I don't think it's an official name for it, but like the Florida Man principle.
Yeah, I have.
You have?
Yes.
Tell me the Florida Man principle.
Is that the in stories it inexplicably when they can't identify someone, it inexplicably ends up being a Florida man from Florida?
I believe that's the case.
Yes.
But I'm referring to something else. What I'm referring to is, remember during the Sonic the Hedgehog review we did, the film review?
Yeah.
I said that there was that unwritten rule of the internet that if you type in your name, the Hedgehog, there will be fan art of that character. It's the Florida Man principle is another one of those where if you type in Florida Man and then your birthday, there will be a new story of a Florida man doing something absurd.
That's it.
Oh yes. I know where we're at now.
That,
Okay. Have you tried it?
No.
Would you like to? Shall we try it now? Yeah.
Okay.
Florida Man, my birthday.
Yes.
Okay.
Fun little exercise to. For all the naysayers who are like, oh, it's just a boring podcast about how much they hate black people. It's like, no, we talked about Florida people.
Yeah. While we're sitting type, I'm sure we'll have a lovely interlude that can just play over.
Is it when the article was published?
No, it's the first Google result.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's when the article was published, though. That is the first Google result.
Is it?
My birthday is the day this article was published, rather than I don't know if it's the day.
Yeah. I assume because you're googling the dates.
Yes.
It'll.
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of want to read the article on this.
I've got something.
Okay, who's gonna go first?
Eddie, you go first.
Mine says June 26th. Florida man says he only grabbed his mother by head to kiss her.
Okay.
I kind of want to read this because underneath in the little bit there it says exclusive.
We got the exclusive rights to this like incest story.
Mine is Florida man arrested for biting boys out of frustration.
Can I just say, it's also given me a result for June 27th. Obviously, I know it's not my birthday. But June 27th is naked Florida man stood in a fire and chanted gibberish. Mushrooms did it, cop says.
I think the Florida man did it. Mine is from 2019, actually. This was published. Florida man arrested after allegedly shoving steaks worth more than $50 down his pants.
Because the headlines are funny, but when you read it, it's just kind of bleak. A Florida man's accused of biting his girlfriend's 2 young boys while the mother of the children has been charged with neglect.
Oh, shit.
This guy faces 2 charges of aggravated child abuse. The 2-year-old boy had 8 bite marks on his back, buttock and face, and 35 lacerations on his back. The 3-year-old boy had a bite mark on his buttock. Detectives say Davis admitted to biting the boys out of frustration. This is a fun exercise, John.
I was just say because the only other one I've got.
Well, I wasn't expecting you to outright read it. I thought you would just be like, "Oh, isn't this?"
The only other one I've got for 26th of June is Florida man charged in Pinky the Flamingo's death is fatally struck by truck.
Flamingo.
You can't call flamingo. The thousands of them must be called Pinky. That's not acceptable.
It's like calling a dog Fido, isn't it?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Spots
Rex
or something. Before we move on, I'm going to do...
We've just slagged off every male name.
Eddie, type in Florida Man 11th of October, because that was the date we published the first.
I'm getting liked by handsome dudes. It's not just like, weird...
Fuck a dude!
Just get it over with, Sam. We all know you're going in that direction.
He's got a PhD.
Okay.
Does he have money?
Well, he's got a PhD.
Yeah, but find out if he's got money. If he's got a good job, if he's got money.
Seeking something meaningful with the right guy, but no big expectations. Kind of a mixed bag here. Half German, half Italian, raised in Brazil. He's exotic. Ooh. So maybe either very intense and passionate, but with a very shy edge.
He's going to know you're talking about him.
How that? No one listens. I'm not naming it. No. If you have a dog, that's a plus. I'm a human rights lawyer. So
he's got bank.
So always up to discuss politics and dense subjects.
Fuck him.
Women don't write stuff like this, see?
Yeah.
Women are just like, impress me. And they're like, let's talk about politics.
Sam, all I'm saying is, fuck him, marry him, get the bag, and then divorce him.
Honestly, I prefer chilled lads interested in a no-brainer life, watching TV, travelling, cooking, or having a laugh over a beer.
Oh, she's like, I'll do all the thinking. You just sit there and watch the TV.
I'll be his kept woman. I don't care.
Yeah, I wonder though how much of it is like you were saying with like men try more. Yeah, he's a handsome dude.
Handsome chap.
Yeah. But I wonder how much of it is like
say it.
No.
Oh,
Quentin.
Is that dig at Quentin Crisp, the naked civil servant?
How dare you, Eddie?
A famous gay politician. Go on.
How much of it is like oh, I talked about politics once, therefore I like talking about politics.
Well, he's a human rights lawyer.
Yeah. No. I know. I trust. I trust him.
Yeah.
I trust Quentin.
I trust him as well. Yeah.
But I do wonder, like, generally with men, how, like, oh, I've just got to put details in. Oh, I once went snowboarding, therefore I go snowboarding.
Yeah.
I'm a snowboarder,
Yeah, I get it. But most people are boring, aren't they? So, you've got to put something colourful in there.
This is why you want to be a Florida man.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So 11th October was the date we published the first Funfiltered podcast. So what is Funfiltered's birthday Florida man? Okay,
so there's 2.
What's the first one?
Florida man accused of forcing small alligator to drink beer.
I'm happy with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, give us the other one. We'll decide which one we prefer.
Florida man arrested for pelting his mother with sausages.
Oh, they're both good.
Yeah, they are both good. What's funnier? A drunk crocodile is pretty...
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that manifest?
A drunk crocodile.
Yeah, because they kind of...
They're just on their backs.
They waddle a bit when they walk anyway.
Yeah.
Because they have to move to get their legs in position.
Yeah.
So it's not like, stumbling down the street.
Yeah. Where you just see their tails bobbing up from under the water. Just the tail.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just picturing them on their back. Just kind of very slightly doing the...
You just walk up to it, just goes, don't. Not today.
There's got to be some joke about what do you call a drunk crocodile. What's the answer? What's the punchline of that joke? What do you call a drunk crocodile? A scalcoholic? Alcohol-croc.
All I'm going to say is
Alcohol-croc?
I've written the words, what do you call a drunk, and press the space bar. The first option after just that is dinosaur. What do you call a drunk dinosaur?
That's a joke, isn't it?
It's just Drunkosaurus, right? It's something shit like that.
It can't be that, can it?
Drunk crocodile.
Yeah. What do you call a drunk crocodile?
Alligator?
That's an alligator, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're different.
There is not an answer.
Okay, that's our mission. Always be thinking about this for the rest of the podcast.
Okay.
What do you call a drunk crocodile? Listeners, send in your suggestions.
Yeah.
Engage with the fucking content.
Yeah, all three of you.
Yeah, please. Yeah, even the three of you, ardent, fervent fan acolytes of this podcast, you don't engage with the content.
Let's not piss off our incredibly small fan base now.
All right.
That's fine. I'm going to see one of them in work tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all people we know.
Yeah.
Okay. Now should we talk about Doctor Who?
Yes.
Okay.
The perfect opportunity to escape cultural issues and progressive propaganda. Doctor Who, the Doctor Who, the Doctor Who, the do. Doctor Who, the Doctor Who, the Doctor Who, the do. It actually starts earlier now, so you should have started by now.
I don't pay attention to that sort of thing. We're going by the classic tune.
Doctor
it also
Who,
doesn't go
Doctor
Doctor Who.
I'm taking some liberties.
Well, so
doesn't mean that you
I'm
had
giving
to.
you more. I'm giving you 8 more bars.
Doctor
Go.
Who, the Doctor 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 Who. Jump in anytime.
Well,
Doctor
you keep
Who.
restarting. So go from the beginning.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Eddie,
Go.
just
No, go on. Do it again. We'll do it properly. The song starts now.
Doctor Who, the Doctor Who, the Doctor Who, Doctor Who, the Doctor Who, the Doctor Who, Doctor Who, the Doctor Who, the Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who.
I lied.
You did lie. But you took the you know what you did?
What did I do?
You took the spotlight away from Eddie's marvelous
right.
whatever the fuck that was. Yeah.
That's what sums it up at this point,
Yeah,
isn't it?
pretty much.
Alright. Well, okay. So one benefit of series 11.
Yes.
There's more to say.
Well, the problem is what we have to say about it. Isn't
Yes.
It? Yeah. I feel like a lot of what there is to say about Doctor Who, it's no longer about Doctor Who. It's about what's motivating it.
Right.
So I think it's a negative in that respect. Is we're not really talking much about the show anymore in the same way that we were talking about the show beforehand. Like it's not, like I don't really have anything to say about.
We're talking about macro, not micro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't have anything to say about like specific episodes or the monsters because there isn't really anything to say. It's more about what the scripts are doing. You know?
Well, I'm going to say, as a whole, the monsters aren't great in this.
Well, this is the only series of New Who to be completely original monsters.
Yeah.
And it's probably the worst rogues gallery of the entire show.
Yeah.
It's so... Like, episode 2, like, pieces of cloth.
Yeah.
That's the monster for episode 2.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean...
There's one thing I like in the first episode.
That being?
That she makes her own sonic screwdriver.
Okay. The thing is, with... This should be, given the parameters and the scope of Doctor Who, there's kind of no excuse for having shit creatures or shit villains.
Yeah.
Even if conceptually not brilliant, in design, or like something that makes them good.
Yeah.
Because you can do anything in Doctor Who. So there is absolutely no reason for it to be, for this thing to not be good.
I think, like, their attempt at, like, a new big villain was Tim Shaw.
Yeah.
Which was the Tooth Predator.
Yeah.
Who is cold.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that had any... Like, he's cold. His skin is super cold and it will give you frostbite if you touch him.
That
Shaw comes up, like, once.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's a relevant detail.
It's Zim Shah is his name, right?
Yeah,
but she calls him Tim Shaw.
Yeah. And he's part of the Stenza. Which is a decent name for a Doctor Who race of villains.
Yeah, that's fine. It's more the fact that she calls him Tim Shaw. I mean... I get what they're doing.
Yeah.
She ironically mishears it or just decides to piss him off.
Yeah.
But it's the Doctor. If it was a companion going, what, Tim Shaw? But it's her. She's encountered thousands of alien species and she's struggling with Zim Shah.
She can speak Jadoon.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. But Tim Shaw.
We've seen David Tennant speak Jadoon. But apparently Sim Shaw or whatever it is. It's just beyond the Doctor's capabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like making her own sonic screwdriver is like the plus for me for episode 1.
Yeah.
I did find it slightly funny that she gets her outfit from a charity shop.
Alright. Well, like emblematic of where the show was at.
Well, just
just secondhand bullshit.
Well, no, because his outfit comes from, or the outfit comes from, generally speaking, stealing clothes, or certainly for the
Matt Smith. Yeah, Matt Smith stole his clothes.
Well, it's socially conscious now, isn't it? So help the community and all that.
So of course she goes to a charity shop.
Yeah.
But then still has no money to pay for it, so has to get her fam.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's the most
Does
important thing.
anything you could say? Yeah.
Well, it's a woman now. That's the main thing to talk about, right?
Yes,
It's Jodie Whittaker now.
it's Jodie Whittaker now.
Woman
The show
now. Fuck.
takes its time
Yeah.
acknowledging that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's really until episode 8 that they deal with it.
Yeah.
And even then, they don't really deal with it. She just offhandedly says, "Oh, people are patronizing to women,"
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's the show dealing with
Yeah,
the gender change, basically. Yeah.
Okay, let's start by let's do the peripherals before we tackle the elephant of Whittaker.
Okay.
I'm 25 and I can't ride a bike.
Okay.
So fuck it, I'm claiming dyspraxia. This condition didn't exist 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So fuck it, I'm gonna claim it. It's
Okay.
mine now. Okay, I'm dyspraxic.
Okay.
So from now on, you just treat me.
I know. Well, yeah. You're sort of like, oh, this condition that's like come out of nowhere.
fad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't have cancer until we did.
No, we always have cancer.
Yeah, but we didn't know. Like, cancer one day was like, oh, there's cancer now.
Yeah, but cancer's pretty undeniable.
Yeah.
Being a bit like coordination sucks. That's just like you are, man. Let's not give that a word.
Okay.
No, I don't know anything about dyspraxia. I don't. It seems like one of those new fangled,
Well, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with his dyspraxia if he had dyspraxia.
if it was consistent.
Like, you can't fail to ride a bike in episode 1
Yeah.
and then shoot a gun with perfect aim in episode 2.
Selective dyspraxia.
Exactly, yeah.
But I was saying to you, Joel, like this cultural pathology, it reminds me a bit of like a fish market. Of
Okay.
like, get your neurosis,
Oh, right, yeah.
Buy one depression, get an anxiety free. So fuck it, I'm claiming dyspraxia.
Okay.
And if you deny it, you're a fucking bigot. Alright? Alright?
You're a fucking
Alright.
twit.
You twazzock. Okay, so it's just not right, is it? I know it looks better. It does look better.
Well.
Yeah, I know. In a sense.
It's a bit OTT.
Oh, yeah. But frankly, that's not Doctor Who.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, it's like, okay, you've jumped to 4K. You've jumped to these like cinematic cameras. I think these are red cameras.
yeah.
I think they're similar cameras that they use to shoot Marvel films.
Yeah. All caps, yeah? Red.
Yeah, red camera. Like, fair enough. But you should probably have hired a cinematographer as well.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, rather than just like filming in naturally beautiful locations and filming most of the scenes in like shot reverse shot close-ups.
Yeah.
That doesn't count as cinematography.
Well, it just looks like nothing at all.
Yeah.
Especially that first episode. It's Doctor Who via Happy Valley.
Well, it's
via.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's another problem. Is like Stephen Moffat's Doctor Who. It was good, but it was mostly bad. Like, having revisited, a lot of it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But like, that's because Stephen Moffat was buckling under the weight of his own ambition. Like, if his Doctor Who was working as well as intended, then it would have been something like worthy of note.
Yeah.
If Chibnall's Doctor Who is working at maximum capacity, if it's working as intended, it's a generic piece of television.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is the best Doctor Who can currently be is just like any other TV show out there.
That is it. Yeah. At the moment, it's... You can't even say it... You can, I suppose, but it feels weird calling it bad. I suppose because of the way it looks, it's harder to see.
But I think that's what they're counting on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
It looks nice, so it can't be bad.
Yeah. But it is bad. It is, but because there are plenty of sci-fi shows out there that just exceed this in so many ways.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near even as it used to be. Chibnall does not know how to write the Doctor.
No.
It's not just that. I also think that he writes too... Like, I get that he's the showrunner, but he reduced it to 10 episodes a series.
Yes.
And then he technically... I mean, okay, one of them he's a co-writer, but he's technically involved in the script on 6 of them.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, he's pretty hands-on as far as a writer goes, showrunner goes.
Yeah, and like... That's not...
I think that's usually something to celebrate. The more single-minded, the vision.
Yeah, so imagine how bad it must be that we're not celebrating that this is like this guy's vision.
Lindelof co-wrote, I think, every, or maybe 7 out of 8 episodes of Watchmen,
Yeah.
And The Leftovers co-wrote every episode.
Yeah.
His hands are all over it. That's something that we would usually...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you want to advocate that stuff. Yeah. Let the creator create.
And well, that's the thing, because like the one that he co-wrote, is Rosa. So it's the one about Rosa Parks. And he co-wrote it with Mallory Blackman.
Yeah.
Right, who's a black writer.
Yeah.
And I was like, surely if he knew that was what he wanted to tackle, would you not, and he wanted like someone black involved in the script, would you not do then what Moffat did when he was showrunner, which was if he wanted like someone to write about like a certain creature or a certain idea, he'd just go,
Here you go.
Here's the idea. This is the pitch. Go write me an episode.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. I was going to bring this up earlier. Interesting thing, going back to Damon Lindelof. I saw something on Instagram about, I think it was his, he was thanking everyone, like, I can't believe Watchmen has scored all these nominations and all that. As far as I know, his reason for leaving it where it is as one season is, I told my story, and that is, I'm done now.
Yeah.
That is a story I wanted to tell.
Yeah.
It was self-contained, it's over. But all these comments were people saying, like, thank you for starting this, but I appreciate your decision to step down. For Sister Night should have a woman that looks like a person that looks like her writing her.
Right. Okay.
As if that was the reason he gave for stepping down. Like, you've just admitted that you loved it and it was brilliant. So why do you need this?
Yeah.
Do you know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I said, but I did. I said on an earlier podcast, 12 Years a Slave. It probably benefits from having a black man write it. Identity politics, there's something somewhere to it.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, all right, a black woman, fine.
Yeah.
Writing Rosa, I get the impulse for that. It's not necessary as far as I'm concerned.
No, I mean, I've said when it comes down to writing for me, and this is just like a me personal like thing, but like if I was tackling a story which was to do with, okay, take 12 years, like
slavery.
I wouldn't do that because A, I don't think I would do a good enough job.
Yeah.
But B, I think there are better candidates for people who can write that, and I feel like certainly if you've got there's an ancestral thing to do with slavery, then you might do a better job than I certainly would in that regard. I think
it's the case you write what you know.
Yeah.
And, if I'm a journalist who has been in Iraq for 20 years, a white guy, then my script about Iraqi insurgency is going to be more than an American, an Iraqi born in America that's 25 and it just is.
Yeah.
That's going to be it's your expertise, Like, I wouldn't write anything about being a Muslim or anything because I just don't know anything about it.
This thing, so there's someone I know who was working on like the idea for a TV series, and they're gay, and so like most of I don't know if it was all the characters, but most of the characters they were writing were gay. And I just went, but my response was, well, why do they all need to be?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, writing what I know, and I'm like in that regard, why did it have to be like all gay? Why, like, because I can write a script where I've got, I have got gay characters. I've written a short play which is about two lesbians, but not every character in the script had to.
And that's where it starts to fall apart. It's like, if you're gay, if you want to write about a fundamental coming of age gay story, probably helps if you're gay.
Yes.
It certainly helps if you're gay.
Yeah.
But then it's like, but I will only write that. It's like, no, the point of art in the first place is to generate empathy.
Yeah.
I can sympathise with characters that are nothing like me. Black women in the 40s in Libya. I don't know anything what it's like to be, but I empathise with them because that's what art is for.
Yeah.
You put yourself in other people's shoes. So it's nonsense to go, and thus I will only do that.
Yeah, but it was about that just in this particular idea, they were like making all the characters gay, and I was going, right, but why in this one piece is everyone gay? Because
unless it's set at a gay club, that's just not even realistic.
No, but that's what I mean. It wasn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not realistic in the slightest. If I was watching that, I'd be like, why is everyone gay? Like, I'm not sat there going, oh yeah, cool. Everyone's gay in this story. This is great.
God,
would the counter argument to that be, well, why do you write a script where all the characters are straight?
Well, I mean,
rule of thumb, I don't really specify.
You specify.
No, I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying the counter argument generally would be, well, straight people write scripts where all the characters are straight. Why shouldn't I write a script where all my characters are gay?
Well, it's like, well, you can write what you want. I mean, it depends what you're going for. If you're going for realism, it's feasible to write a script where everyone is straight because most people are. You know, if you're writing a script with
yeah.
every character, and it's not like Pose, where it's set in like a gay subculture or a cross-dressing subculture or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
then it's a bit silly if they just all happen to be gay.
Yeah, we'll see. Take the script that I wrote about the two lesbians.
Yeah.
It was set during a university like hall's house. They lived in the same house. They were both gay, but then there were other people in the house that weren't, and that was just like I was like, because that's realistic. That's quite feasible.
Well, you just think again, an argument will always be, well, we are the majority, we are the straight white man, and so we can say that. But you look at Alan Ball, a gay man, right? He wrote American Beauty, and there are gay characters in that. Like it's a lot about closeted homosexuality. The main characters aren't. It's a marriage. He wrote 6 Feet Under, where you have a gay character and his boyfriend and some of their gay friends. No one else in that show is gay.
Yeah,
because most people aren't. You know, it's like that's right. You don't. If you're gay,
it's not like that's like a storyline, isn't it? It's like we need more gay friends. We need to find gay people. Where do we meet gay people?
Yeah.
Like
they go gay paintballing, which is brilliant.
Oh yeah. Have we mentioned that on the podcast?
I maybe
that's become like that's we've introduced that into our vocabulary, haven't we? Like a show. Because 6 Feet Under, Eddie, it's a comedy, but it's miserable, right?
Oh, it's not a comedy.
Okay, well, it's just miserable.
It's a drama with a dark comedy. But it's a drama series.
It's dark humour.
Yeah.
But obviously, they live in a funeral home. The show is called 6 Feet Under. Like, death is a huge part of all of the stories that are being told.
The show's about death.
The show is about death, yeah.
And gay paintballing.
Well, that's the thing. So obviously it's very morbid and very dark, but there's an episode where they go gay paintballing. They call it gay paintballing. That's not us being like, oh, we're not down with the lingo, we're being reductive. They call it gay paintballing.
Yeah.
And it's a fun episode where they're freaking out because
uncharacteristic, like it plays wacky music for the show, really out of
because one of the main characters' boyfriend is a cop.
Yeah.
So obviously
he's quite a masculine butch kind of you wouldn't he passes, I think is the
the word. So obviously he's like trained in guns and everything, so he's taking it very seriously and doing very well, and it's freaking out the other people because they're constantly under fire. And it's this fun kooky episode,
and they're running like it was
it's like proper laying into the stereotype as well. And then
written by a gay man,
and then every single episode after that is miserable and depressing. So
nice.
we like gay paintballing has become like the moment where there's a moment of levity in the show.
Yeah.
Like the calm before the storm, basically. That's what gay paintballing is.
And also like it's the Stand By Me summer, which is like when things get bleak, it's remember gay paintballing?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Remember the heydays of gay paintballing? Yes. But The Wire would be another good example where I think that's a majority black cast and obviously about black characters in Baltimore, written by a white journalist who is more credentialed to write about the drug trade and all that stuff in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Because he was a cop before that. Like, you get the people who know best, about that stuff. But it reminds me when I was in uni, I think it was a group project. We had to write a TV series. And I can't remember, maybe it was one person's idea. It was like a high street of independent businesses, barbershops, all that sort of thing. And every character was an ethnic minority and a sexual minority. So it would be like a transgender Iranian man, or every character was like that. And it
was that my year or the year?
I honestly can't remember.
That sounds horrific.
Yeah, I thankfully wasn't involved with that project.
Like,
that's
like, not me being like harsh about the idea of putting those characters out there.
Yeah.
Like, just an entire like
the contrivance.
The idea. I mean,
inventory.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that Equality Street, the Ricky Gervais song, made real. Are you familiar with Equality? Yeah.
Let in love, we don't let in hate.
No. Billy, bang. Sweet.
Tonga.
Brilliant. But it was just that. It was that song made into a TV show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Back to Doctor Who.
Oh, yes, Doctor Who. Yay.
Yeah. I'd say that the grandson having to warm to the new grandfather, technically, is a dynamic I don't think I've seen before. And that's a good thing. But it's basically the mum's new boyfriend thing.
It's the exact same dynamic, yeah. I re-saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom the other day. It was on, like the family was watching it, so I watched it with them. Yes.
It was just happening.
Yes, it was just...
All it takes for evil to prosper is for good men to do nothing.
Things happen, Sam, okay? I can't help it if things happen.
You can try and stop them happening.
I mean, he does have the dinosaur tattooed on his bum, but we won't go into that.
Yes.
Anyway, I rewatched... I'd completely missed the punchline, but I don't care. I rewatched Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and obviously you've got Chris Pratt, you've got Bryce Dallas Howard, and then you've got...
Dinosaurs.
And then you've got the dinosaurs, yes. But you've got those two supporting characters, the younger characters. Whereas
Fallen Kingdom's the sequel, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the sequel.
Okay, so there's I think it's Justice Smith.
Oh, yeah.
But he's like, that guy, he's the tech wizard. And then they have a woman, I don't know her name.
Of course.
Disgusting behavior.
I was gonna say I don't know if she's been in other stuff, but she might be like this really famous actress that I just have no idea who she is. My point was going to be like, he's the tech guy, she's the she looks after the dinosaurs, she's the vet basically, and he is like very like jumpy and timid and like, oh my god, there are dinosaurs, and he's freaking out all the time, and she's very like stern and butch and level-headed.
Get away from her, you bitch.
What?
She's that, is she?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
She's that kind of character. 20 years ago, those roles would have been reversed. So the woman would have been timid, and the Justice Smith would have been like the go away, I'm busy, that kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's the exact same stereotypes.
Yeah.
We've just swapped the genders now.
Right.
And I think that's one of the like insidious things about this, not giving into these trends, but like jumping on these trends, is they're not actually changing anything. It just allows them to rearrange the pieces.
Reshuffling.
They're doing exactly the same thing. They're just changing who does what.
I would say like
with Graham, for example, like, oh, the black grandson having to warm to the white grandfather. Yeah. That sounds new and exciting, but it's the exact same thing. Yeah. They've just changed the details a little bit.
Yes, I suppose they would say that the only purpose would be to shatter the stereotype, and so it doesn't matter. Like, as long as it's the woman doing this, the man doing that.
Yeah.
That's their job done. But this is the point I was making.
But it's the same stereotype.
It's just
we haven't changed anything.
No,
you know.
It's just ticking boxes. It's just a list of traits that we like. Oh yeah, they get a black woman who she's lesbian but she's got a kid. It's those things.
Yes, yeah.
What is this doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's not doing anything. Yeah.
And let's face it, the reason that 20 years ago it would have been a man being a bit more resolute and the woman being a bit more freaking out is reflective of most realities.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, maybe, yeah.
Most men and women in that situation, that's if it's going to go that way, that is typically the way it will manifest, right?
It's not out of the question that it would be the man freaking out the woman would be okay.
Oh no, yeah, of course. There are examples of that, but...
I mean, it depends how far into, like, do you want to dip into, like, biological, like, a man's instinct is to protect a woman.
We're going to get to biology.
Yeah, so the man would, even if he's not brave, he would act brave.
Yes, okay. Eddie is passing me a note. No, she's nobody.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, thank God. I thought I was being... I thought I was being patriarchally privileged or whatever the fuck.
She's also Latina, so that's another box ticked.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Daniela Pineda.
Yes.
Pineda.
Pinata.
Well,
Pina colada.
You said it.
I'm just...
And he carries on to prove that all along when we said he was the racist.
Yeah, we were correct. Don't start me off, George.
We all know what he gets like. Fucking hell.
Get my sombrero out now.
Sombrero.
The sombrero, indeed.
Yeah.
Killing Grace was misjudged. I thought. I get why they had to do it for the season.
Yeah.
But like when it happens, how it happens, like in this episode.
Yeah.
In this silly little nothing episode.
Yeah, exactly. She kind of like, stiffly like falls backwards, and then you hear her hit the ground.
Yeah. Twas not the planes that killed.
I just didn't think they needed to kill it.
Cut that out. You're gonna have to cut that out.
I don't know what you said.
I was the line from the end of King Kong.
Oh, right.
What's gonna happen to
No, well, she fell off a tall thing.
Okay, I did mean that.
Yeah,
I did mean that. It wasn't a...
yeah, I know your intention.
A simian.
Yeah.
Bradley Walsh is alright.
It's staying, yeah. So, you know, get used to it.
Bradley Walsh is alright. I quite like him.
He's the best thing about it.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah. The titles are shite. The TARDIS is shite.
Oh, I don't mind the titles. They don't fit this new vision of Doctor Who. Because they're the trippiest titles that we've had, or at least they're the most abstract titles that we've had. And this is the most normal the show has ever been. Yeah. Like, even like Russell T Davies, it was like normal, but it was like quaint.
Yeah.
It was such a specific brand of normal that it had an identity of its own. But this is just normal. Bland, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about her. Again, I'm going to have to ask that you indulge me for a second.
Oh, you're on about Whittaker now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have a thesis that we briefly discussed.
Before we get to your thesis, do you like Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, Eddie?
No.
Why don't you like that? Let's have Eddie's opinion first. Okay. Shake things up a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, there's a part of me that just doesn't think she fits particularly well.
Is that instinct, or is there like a specific thing you can point to and go, that's why she doesn't work?
Like, I feel like for the series, it feels off at times. It's whether that, I'm not saying it's down to, the fact that, it's the first like female or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like there's something that doesn't feel right. There are times, like, particularly the whole like fam thing, where it's just, I know that's the writing, but it's trying to make her something which she doesn't necessarily need to be. Like, I get that it's like, oh, I'm new, I'm something different to the last person I was, but this didn't need to be it at all.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't particularly...
Because I would say that I think many people would argue that in some way she's too similar to previous Doctors. There's too much David Tennant in her, for example. She doesn't really have an identity. She doesn't really have an identity of her own. She is just kind of kooky David Tennant, Matt Smith Doctor,
Yeah, but that, like,
on a superficial level.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
What I mean. Like, it feels a bit off. I would go with more. I think it's a more generic version of those two.
Yeah,
but she's got a JJ.
There is that. Why have good writing when you can just when cast a woman?
Yeah. But that does feel like the approach they've gone with.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't think that I don't think she was the right choice, because my thing with Jodie Whittaker is I think she's kind of like Martin Freeman in the sense that she can play a person.
Yeah.
That is what she was born to do. Like, Martin Freeman is perfect as... Is it Tim? In the UK office? He's perfect as Tim.
Yeah.
He's born to play that. Many people say he was born to play...
Lester?
No, Baggins?
Oh, Bilbo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who I think, in Lord of the Rings terms, is just a person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was born to do those kind of roles. I think it's the same with Jodie Whittaker. She looks like your friend's mum, or a teacher, or she looks like a person,
I mean, this is the thing, because
I don't think
I
she's
haven't
suited.
seen loads of Chibnall's writing outside of Broadchurch and Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But I think Broadchurch is probably the best thing he's written.
Okay.
But I think...
Broadchurch is... The first series is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. With that...
I like the idea of the second series as well, where it's kind of like attempting to recontextualize the first season, even though we know the facts.
But that's a show that's become a victim of its own popularity.
Yeah.
Well, we just got to do the first series again.
Yeah.
But the thing with that is she is very good as Beth Latimer.
Yeah, exactly. Those kind of roles.
Yeah.
And,
Perfect
she's like, Journeyman isn't a great film, but she's well cast in that as well, I would say.
Yeah. I see your point.
Yeah, she is,
every woman.
Every woman.
Yeah.
So when you thrust her
which is not a bad thing at all.
No, it's not a bad
you
thing.
need someone to play those roles.
You're saying
you
she does
absolutely
life not larger than life.
Yeah, exactly. When you thrust her into this role where she has to play this larger than life, she has to fill a room with her presence, I don't think she can do it. And I think the writing is trying so hard to compensate for that. That's how you end up with things like, oh, me fam going to the nebulas for a laugh. I don't know. I think that's the main problem with Whittaker.
You just did an impression of a black person.
That was supposed to be Sheffield.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Jesus. I'm surprised it didn't sound like Texas.
How do you Sheffield?
Isn't Sheffield just northern, isn't it?
Is it?
Right. It probably has regional specificities.
Me fam going to the TARDIS.
Carry on.
So we can go fire Dalek, innit?
I don't know what that was close to.
Okay.
So the full Monty, that's Nathan. That's what he says to us. Nathan. Yeah. So you shithead. It's just
get in the fucking TARDIS, you shithead.
Get in the fucking guy, you shithead. Yeah, whatever you just did. Okay. Do you want to hear my thesis then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Right. I think I've written this to make sense.
Okay. Well, I would hope so.
You know, that it follows on. I don't know whether it was just random, but yeah, okay, I'll just read it.
Okay.
The following I say as a straight white man. That's the thing to bear in mind.
Oh, okay. Have even you been reduced to trigger warnings now?
Even me. Whittaker is not bad. She's emulating a precedented performance style.
Okay.
But there is a problem. It's not because she's a woman, though one obviously does have to make that extra leap. It's because she's, in my opinion, a quite attractive woman. Not drop dead gorgeous.
Is this
not hot?
Is this better?
Than
like, oh, it's not that she's a woman, it's that she's an attractive woman.
I don't know if this is better. I am being objective about this.
Okay.
And a quirky, attractive woman defies understanding.
Right.
This is not my typical chauvinist bullshit. Right? I'm talking about deeply embedded, primordial, conceptual structures, insofar as I have absolutely no credentials or real education in this area.
Okay.
But I think there's a real point here on like a mammalian level. The factors that make Doc Brown, Back to the Future character, not the rapper, Doc Brown, being either weird looking or neurotic begets social isolation, begets books, begets social isolation, begets books, etc., simply don't correspond to someone like Jodie Whittaker. There is an apparent relationship between the way Doc Brown looks and the way Doc Brown is. The mad scientist with the crazy hair and the bug eyes is a cliche, and it's a cliche because it makes total sense. I am of course not saying that A, all social rejects are clever, because some loners are retards. And B, I'm not saying that there are no beautiful women that are smart and have colourful personalities, but I harbour no reservations about claiming they are exceptions. They neither need to affect quirk to make up for defects in other areas, nor victims of the circumstances that make one peculiar in the first place. That's what the problem is. It feels like posturing. Like male actors playing women in Shakespeare plays. It's a transparent affectation. It's plain dress-up, going through the motions. She is cosplaying as the Doctor. Now, that is what occurred to me in her first minute of screen time.
Okay,
right?
Right.
When she was on the train.
When she literally fell from space, landed on a train. And is fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of that can be reduced to...
She's not a Mary Sue, though.
No, she's not
Point that out. She's not a Mary Sue. She just survived a fall from space.
Yeah. All can be reduced to she's not believable.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's her fault. This is what comes of identity politics. Invariably, nothing ends up feeling right. Because they're going against the grain, right? They're going against your natural instinct for what is correct. It turns out the stereotypes and cliches have a basis in fact. Now, that I'm not encouraging cliches and stereotypes. I'm a wannabe writer. Most of my energy is spent trying to avoid them.
Yeah.
I just want some recognition that some things work, and trying to subvert them or counter them often leaves one rudderless, no matter how much these fuckers claim otherwise. Yeah, and I just want to say that I think one of our bylines for the podcast should be, we are unapologetic apologists for the patriarchy. Do you two subscribe to that?
Well, you've now just given away that they were right all along, that there is a patriarchy.
Yeah, and patriarchy, as someone, I can't remember who, said, gave us, civilization, so fuck it. I'm all for the patriarchy.
Okay, so in response to your thesis, doesn't David Tennant put a puncture in that a little bit?
Why?
Because he's an attractive man.
But an attractive man is different from an attractive woman.
How so?
Because generally, even an ugly woman doesn't have to try to get laid.
Well, some of them do.
Very few.
Okay.
If you're a woman and you want to have a shag, you can. If you go on a night out, you can get one.
Okay.
Yeah. Men, even some attractive men, that is not the case.
Right.
That is the difference here.
Okay.
Men have to try.
So even attractive men still have to put the work in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they're trying with other men, as we've learnt from Tinder.
Yeah. And obviously, like, there are. This isn't a totalizing view. I'm just saying that if she was fuck ugly, right, it would be more believable.
You'd be like, that's the Doctor.
It would be more believable that she's quirky. I know that is the Doctor, and in the logic and mythology of the show, it could turn into the most beautiful. It could turn to Margot Robbie, and it would still be the same character because it is the same character.
Yeah.
But as a viewer, your relationship changes because of who the actor is.
Yeah. And
so it's easier. Christopher Eccleston's a bit of a weird-looking guy.
Yeah.
Easy to buy. David Tennant, okay, an attractive guy. but you don't really notice that, I don't think, with him. Matt Smith, weird-looking guy.
Yeah, that works.
Capaldi, weird-looking guy.
Well, old guy.
Old guy,
he has a lifetime of whatever behind it. So you believe him when, you know, you can see it on his face.
Whittaker, young, fairly pretty woman.
Okay.
You know? Harder to buy as a weirdo, kooky scientist.
I mean, I certainly agree with your sentiment that it feels like she's cosplaying as the Doctor.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like that. I've never really bought her as the Doctor.
Yeah.
Even in the next season, which obviously we'll discuss next time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've actually got to watch that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I didn't actually...
than Eddie has.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch all of this season because I watched it when it was airing.
You bitch.
So I watched the 3 episodes that I hadn't previously seen. I couldn't do anymore.
Okay.
So I don't know how I'm gonna... I might just not rewatch Series 12.
No, so I rewatched Series 11, but I watched Series 11 when it came out. Series 12 is the one I stopped after the Jadoon. So I'm like, okay, I can put up with...
no, shit, yeah, there's one Series 12 episode I haven't seen, and it's the worst one, apparently.
Which is...
Paraxis? Or Parallaxis?
Do you know what happens in it, roughly?
It's about plastic. It's like an anti-plastic episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, I agree with your sentiment. I don't know if her attractiveness is the primary reason that she doesn't work.
Okay.
For me, the primary reason is that she can't play larger-than-life characters, or at least she is ill-suited to playing larger-than-life characters.
That's fair enough. And like I said...
Like, Matt Smith looks like he fell out of the sky.
Yeah.
You know? I know that David Tennant puts a bit of a thing in that, but he does look like he fell out of the sky. Jodie Whittaker looks like your friend's mum, or that teacher from school you had a crush on.
Right.
You know? She doesn't look like...
I think she'd be a better companion.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Yeah, she's good at doing, as we said...
Or if they wanted to go more back to the Russell T Davies formula, like the mother at home, or just the person at home, that, you know, the companion have to reconcile with.
The thing I like is, obviously, before we kind of like knew it was Whittaker, there was a brief point where there was something going on with Bradley Walsh.
Yeah.
And he was in the running. And so obviously when he got confirmed as the companion and she was the Doctor, it was like, nah, I think most people thought it was going to be the other way around.
Yeah, they fucking tease you, don't they? I think there's a couple of episodes. I might be misremembering. They might be like later in the show. But there's a couple of episodes where they're like, oh, Bradley Walsh, you're the leader, aren't you? It's like, fuck off, show. You know that's what I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler for Series 12, but when Captain Jack comes back, he thinks Bradley Walsh is the Doctor. Yeah, he thinks
Bradley Walsh is the Doctor, yeah.
Yeah, like that theory that I outlined, you know, it's kind of a pop fan theory to some extent. Like, obviously, I haven't deeply thought about it.
Yeah.
It's what occurred to me. I think it's fair enough. Like, your objection is that you just don't think she can do larger than life. But I think I'm mainly, I suppose, talking about people who watch it and can't put their finger on why it's sitting wrong with them.
Okay.
Like, it just doesn't feel right. And I think that is the reason.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, it's fair enough that it's different for men and women. But there are, like, a lot of women who watched Doctor Who when David Tennant was on the show who had a crush on David Tennant.
Right.
They still saw Doctor Who as Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But one of the main reasons was like, oh, David Tennant's on. Isn't he dreamy?
Right.
You know? Like, proper fangirls, you know, shipping him with everyone and anyone.
What is the ratio? Is Doctor Who mainly men? It's got to be, right?
I would say so, yeah. I don't know anymore, because the first...
I would say probably would have been young boys.
Well, like, I know, like, there are a couple of my sister's friends who had never watched Doctor who started watching when Whittaker came into it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But we can't deny what's happened. Like, if we see it happen, we can't deny it, can we?
What do you mean?
Well, you know, like, oh god, women are watching it because a woman's in it. But, like, no. Like, I literally saw that happen, you know?
I suppose, like, because that's the thinking, isn't it? You know, oh, he'll be a role model for young girls and stuff. I don't think... Maybe because you just forget being a kid. I don't recall having male role model in that way.
Yeah.
Seeing someone like, oh, I want to be John McClane.
Yeah.
I never personally really had that. I never wanted to be Han Solo or Luke Skywalker. So you're kind of always in doubt that really young girls are going to watch because it's a female Doctor. You hope that's not true, you know, in a way.
Well, I think a lot of it...
Young girls, maybe.
I think a lot of it now, genuinely, is just people who subscribe to that ideology, you know?
Because like you just hope... Because usually that ideology, like we said before, it oxidizes on contact with air.
Yeah.
So... You kind of hope that when the chips are down and it's just a consumer deciding what they're going to watch, that is not a factor.
Yeah,
but it apparently is.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, they released, like, promotional art or a promotional photograph of the new, like, behind the scenes team.
Behind the scenes. Well, that's Freudian slip.
Where they do, like, oh, we'll have after show discussions about the episodes and the people who are doing Doctor Who magazine, and it's all, like, oh, she's clearly lesbian, she's black, she's Asian, it's everything under the sun. It's the full rainbow, And I think a lot of people, I think there are, did a fist.
I did the Black Power symbol.
Did Black Power. You just admitted that now.
I have. Yeah.
30 Rock got removed for that shit.
Yeah, but that's because he had a black hand.
Okay.
My hand's white. I'm just doing the Black Power symbol.
I see. Okay.
You can do that, can't you? That's solidarity with, all that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to do something. You've been cancelled 4 times in the last 4 episodes.
Yeah, this is my way of... clearly my enthusiasm as I do this. Yeah, go on.
But yeah, like, I've seen people on YouTube who are clearly, like, ardent fans of the show who they just criticize it. I think a couple of them have even said, I can't stop watching. It's Doctor Who. I followed this thing my entire life. I can't give up on the show. But that means I have to sit through all of this bullshit. So you've got those people who've stuck with the show who are just never going to give up on it.
Yeah.
Hope watching. Hope watching. For better or worse, they have to stick with it. And then I think genuinely I feel like, I don't know if Chibnall has admitted this, but I feel like part of the intention for Series 11 is to go back to what Doctor Who used to be, quote unquote.
Right.
So it's more, it's an educational show that will benefit children. Yeah. The Rosa Parks episode, I think, is a testament to that.
Yeah.
And Demons of the Punjab as well.
Yeah.
Which covers... I knew of it, the massacre, but I wasn't, like, intimately familiar with it. So it definitely feels like, it's going to be educational again. But I don't feel like this show is catering to children. I don't feel like it's appropriate for children.
It doesn't look right. It doesn't look like it's for kids.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, with the Rosa Parks episode in particular,
if
you want to know more about Rosa Parks... And like, well, no, but like, if but like, if you were like sat down watching TV, you want to know about Rosa Parks, and you didn't really know much. It's a nice little in.
Yeah, it's an entryway. It's
yeah. It's like, hey, there's this woman called Rosa Parks. Maybe you want to look into her. It's like,
again, same with Demons of the Punjab. If you want to know about what happened there, a little bit of an in.
Can we just talk about how funny the Rosa Parks episode is?
Yeah, I just want to see if I've got any more ancillary points here. Yeah, no, that's a Rosa point. That's a Rosa point. That's a Rosa point. Basically, all my notes are, it's because she's attractive, and now let's talk about Rosa Parks.
Right, okay.
The only thing I want more broadly, she doesn't feel like a leader or a guide.
Well, I think that's intentional. Like they say,
it's a family now.
A couple of episodes, it's a flat team structure, isn't it? So like, no one's the leader.
No, it's basically Scooby-Doo now.
Yes.
That's what
pretty
it is.
much, yeah. But yeah, there's nothing special about the Doctor.
No.
I will say, before we get on to the Rosa Parks episode, the giant spider episode.
Yeah, I wanted to briefly talk about that.
Oh yeah,
the use of Stormzy to get rid of some spiders.
Yeah, that felt proper. Like, also Ryan, the fact that Ryan was the guy. This is the problem.
He would though, wouldn't he?
That's the problem.
Not because of that.
If we're being serious, Ryan would genuinely like.
If one of them
not
is
just his demographic,
Stormzy,
but as a character, he would listen to Stormzy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but
he's a bit of a chav, right?
Yeah. But we're now like, this is what like the constant barrage of these shows has done. You look at that and go, is that racist?
Yep.
Him playing Stormzy.
Yeah, that again, another side effect is that if a show has a black lead now, then my instant reaction is, and it's like not a good reaction.
Yeah,
but it's like, it's because they're black. I assume now it's because of their identity quality. You know what I mean? Rather than, and then you just have to hope the show proves you wrong.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. Now, it used to be that if you had a black lead, it just didn't matter. It wasn't a big deal. Anyway.
Like, blah, blah, blah. He's a good actor. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll say a prime example of that, Idris Elba and Luther.
You never think about it.
Well, I feel like Idris Elba has transcended his race now, right? He's like with Morgan Freeman, where he's just an actor.
I see what you're saying.
When you think of Morgan Freeman, you don't think, a black actor. You think, well, it's Morgan Freeman.
I think, I am God. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Bruce Almighty.
Do you think, what do you think Denzel Washington?
Yeah, I think I know that he's involved in that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'd say he's transcended his race as well. He's just an actor.
Let's clarify what we mean by transcended race.
When I think of that actor, I don't think of what they are. I think of who they are.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I just any possible window for people to go.
I know.
Oh, you mean he's better than black? You know.
But that's the problem. Like the fact that we're having to qualify at every turn.
Hate
it's
it.
Like
hate it.
It's like we're giving them ammunition.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, it's like saying that they've got a point.
Yeah.
You know. That spider episode. They find their way to get the anti-Trump, anti-gun bullshit in there.
Yeah.
Are we that fucked as a people where we can't even have a Trump facsimile character without him hating Trump? Because he says in the episode that he hates Trump, right? And I'm going to dethrone Trump. I'm going to get it.
Is that the idea that even cunts hate Trump?
I think so.
That's how much for
even
cunt
Trump hates Trump. Even the Trump like facsimiles hate him.
The thing is, so my understanding is she wants to exterminate the spiders humanely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just wants to shoot them.
Yeah.
She just doesn't like guns because she doesn't like guns.
Yeah, the Doctor's always hated guns.
That's fair enough. It was a big thing with Tennant, wasn't
it?
Yeah.
That was a huge character beat when he picked up that gun in his final episode. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's fair enough. I suppose I understand that. I mean, not when you think in a intergalactic context where a gun would be a relatively tame weapon compared to a lot of things. But I see the point.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's much more effective. He just wants to shoot it and it dies. And that's sorted that then.
No, Sam. It's far more humane to lock those spiders in a room where they cannibalize themselves to death.
Yeah.
That's far more humane than just shooting them in the head.
That's a brilliant little microcosm of the left and the right. The right will just shoot you and put you out of misery. The left will make you eat your own.
Yeah.
That is perfect, actually.
It's actually a great episode now.
It is. Well, because the fact that the episode is not about that. It's about spiders in a hotel. You know, they say like Jaws, it's about a shark, but it's also about a community dying. And
that's what it's really about.
That's
it's about
really
the dying town, yeah.
This episode, what's it called, the episode?
Arachnids in the UK.
Yeah, it's really about spiders in a hotel. There is no underlayer. No. That is what it's about.
Well, no.
Until the end.
Yeah.
Where they slot in that thing and then Bradley Walsh goes, we're doomed. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you had to fucking pin that coda on.
What is it? The spiders... Someone's dumping their rubbish and that's making the spiders grow?
I don't know.
I think that's it, right? He's dumping waste under the hotel.
Oh, so it's
and the spiders are...
Anti-fly tipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironic, because fly tipping, spider.
Yeah, there you go.
Make that pun better for me.
Yeah. It's in there.
Yeah.
The audience can do the work.
Okay.
We trust the audience.
Okay.
Yeah, get rid of Chibnall. We are clearly... that, and then just the only other point I've got about all the other episodes is yay, Alan Cumming.
Which one's Alan Cumming?
He plays the king in the Witch episode.
Oh, King James.
Yeah.
Did they say to him, right, can you do like a comedy stereotype of a gay man?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Because he's really going for it.
I enjoyed him.
It was fun.
Yeah.
But it was a bit like, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah. But he's gay, so I suppose he's allowed.
Like, the witches. It's just that.
Yeah.
Is the joke that, I don't know, that like kings, especially those sorts of kings are, like Farquaad, like they're a little bit effete.
Maybe.
You know?
Well, with Farquaad, it was the fact that he was tiny, right?
Yeah.
That was
He just reminds me of a Shakespeare king.
Yeah, so a bit fruity.
Yeah.
Alright, let's talk about Rosa.
Doctor, you're a witch. It will burn you.
Maybe part of it is that he's having to do an unnatural accent.
Maybe.
So, you know, but, okay. I'm invincible. Let's go the night. Brilliant. Yes, Rosa.
Yes.
Okay, when Ryan...
This is the funniest epised of Doctor Who in a while.
It is hilarious. It is equally hilarious and infuriating.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny as fuck, and then it becomes fuck you. When Ryan hands the glove...
That's my favourite bit.
That's brilliant.
It's so funny.
So there's a white couple. Obviously, they go back to the time of Rosa Parks, Mrs. Alabama.
Yeah,
Alabama.
Yeah.
And this white woman, Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah.
She drops her glove.
Yeah.
And then Ryan just absentmindedly picks it up and goes, "Oh, here you go, madam."
Yeah.
And then, without a beat, the husband turns around and just decks him in the face. And it is a laugh out loud moment.
Oh god!
It is utterly laugh out loud.
It's not just like he turns around and boom. It's like it's slow motion dramatic music.
Yeah.
You see Ryan's like skin contorts from the like strength of the punch.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It is unfortunately laughable.
Yeah.
I get that was like the quick knee-jerk way of saying, oh, racism.
But they have an hour to establish racism.
I know. All they needed to do was have people look at them weirdly.
Yeah.
Like what?
Or like when they go to the bar and she's like, we don't serve Negroes. Like,
we'll
surely
get to that.
that's enough.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, racism exists.
It's good to mark the evolution of the poor quality moments of Doctor Who in terms of the response they elicit from me. In the early years, when it was bad, it was cringy. Because it was like, production was lower, lower standard. Yeah. Then they made me bored and indifferent. When it was bad, it was like, more of this shit. This is the first time I have laughed out loud. And I guffawed.
Okay.
It happened and I just lost it. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it's like, the whole episode, it's what someone in comprehensive school would write about racist.
Yeah.
racist South.
The bad guy is a time-traveling racist.
Yeah.
And the way they defeat him is they have to learn about Rosa Parks' life.
Yeah.
That's the episode, basically.
Yeah, like the next big laugh is, we don't serve Negroes. That is her line.
Yeah.
It's the ropiness of the accents. That's part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
This is so bad. And
it's
like
whatever
I said,
the equivalent... Whenever you get like Americans doing British accents and it's always that really affected RP British accent.
Yeah.
This is the inverse of that.
Which is weird.
Where it's a British person... I assume she's British.
Yeah.
But it's a British person doing a very affected Southern accent.
It's bizarre because British people are typically better at doing American accents than the reverse.
Well, you're starting from a basis of neutrality, aren't you?
Yeah.
Whereas with Americans, most Americans usually have very distinctive accents.
Yeah.
So they have to disguise that. Whereas with a British person, you sound fairly...
neutral.
Vanilla.
Yeah.
So it's much easier to affect something because you're not hiding anything.
Right. I get what you're saying. But yeah, it's the ropiness of the accents, the high school level of nuance,
Yeah.
And then, so that was all funny.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I get the point they're making, but it's, it's dumb, but hey, this is the episode.
Yeah.
And then we get to that moment where Ryan says to Yaz, why is it that I get stopped by the police way more than my white mates?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck. We're doing this now.
Because it's not... That's what I hate about these episodes. It's not just, oh, look at racism.
Yeah.
It's, oh, look at racism. Glad that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not.
But
Ryan, not a single instance whenever they visited present day was Ryan decked by a white guy.
No.
It's only when they went back to uber racist Alabama
Yeah.
that he was decked. But that's the other thing as well that I hate about this episode. Like, Yaz is Indian. She's played by an Indian actress, and she is Indian in the show as well, isn't she?
Yeah, British Indian, yeah.
British Indian, yeah. Of Indian descent.
Yeah.
But she is mistaken for Mexican.
Yeah.
And even though they don't like Mexicans, like they sort of hide in a hotel at one point during the episode, and I think it says no blacks, no Mexicans, so she has to hide as well. But out in the streets, she's left generally unmolested, as it were. People don't really bother her. So it kind of implies that there's like gradations of racism in that society, but we only ever see everyone at their most racist.
Yeah, well, there's that bit where I guess they were trying to make a point about the, there's it's not just black and white. There are other pigments. When they're on the bus, and she's like, "Am I white or am I black? I don't really know. I guess I sit in the white seat." And there are zero consequences for her sitting in the white seat.
Yeah, but that's probably just because like, oh, this has to be a racism thing.
Yeah,
we don't have any room for non-racism in here.
Yeah, so
we'll just ignore Yaz for this episode. But surely that would have been the more interesting angle to take. Let's go back to a time where racism was rife, and let's explore the gradations of racism. Maybe there were white people who were sympathetic to black people, and like, okay, I know that this bar is segregated, but if you keep it stum, you can just go wherever you want. Or you have people who are more, oh, I'm okay with Mexicans, but I hate blacks.
Yeah.
Or even just like, I'm okay with blacks, but I hate Mexicans. Like, surely that would have been the more interesting episode. They do it again in... I'm sorry, I'm going off on the thing.
No, go on.
They do it again in Kablam, which is the Amazon episode.
Yeah.
It's not Amazon, it's Kablam, but it's Amazon.
Yeah.
Where, okay, this is going to be another anti-corporate episode. And then it ends up being almost pro-corporate because the villain is the white terrorist.
Yeah.
Who's going to, blow up the company and blame the company for it. Blow up people and blame the company for it, I should say. There are instances of that where the show almost promises, it threatens to be interesting. But because it goes against what it initially set out to do, it can't capitalize on those opportunities.
Well, just think, I am not, like massively educated on, the bus boycotts and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be an excuse for people to go, oh, if you don't know. I'm going to say this because fuck you. I am probably more educated than most people listening are about this.
Right, okay.
I'm just, because like I think when people say when I say I'm not educated.
No, I'm only laughing because like as these episodes go on and you're just you're getting less and less
safe.
Yeah. No, not just safe. Just like before it was like, you were trying to like be fair about it.
Yeah.
But now you're just like, look, I just know more than you, okay? I'm just better educated than you.
The only reason I said that is like that wasn't to sound pompous or big-headed.
No.
The reason I said it was because when I say I'm not very educated about this, I'm comparing myself to people who really are educated about it, not to most people.
Yeah.
So when I say I'm not, I don't mean I don't know anything about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm comparing myself to the very best. It's like if you give me like 20 shit writers, all of a sudden I look like I'm a great writer. But I'm comparing myself to people the best
who are
writers.
Very educated. Yeah.
In that context,
yeah.
That's the only reason I specified that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know, how many people held those firmly entrenched racist attitudes. I'm willing to believe it was most people in the South.
I'm willing to believe it was most people.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to believe it was everyone. I'm not willing to believe that they were as, like, horrible and bigoted as this episode's portraying them.
And this is a controversial point that people aren't going to like, but it's true. In order for the disempowered to become empowered, it requires the empowered to give them power. That's just a matter of history. Like white people had to decide.
Yeah. Like Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks could have sat on as many buses as she wanted, and Martin Luther King could have made as many speeches as he wanted. If he didn't convince white people.
Right, that's it. We're not detracting from. They did it.
Yeah.
We will even say MLK, Rosa. They engendered civil
they
rights.
made that change. They changed the minds, but there were certain minds that had to be changed.
They have to change the minds for it to work.
Yeah,
absolutely. You could have explored that in the episode.
Yeah,
you could have explored. Yes,
rather than just empowering more black people who were already empowered by Martin Luther King anyway, who actually shows up in this episode.
Yeah,
show Rosa Parks like not empowering white people, but like convincing white people.
You don't want to intellectualize racism in any way, but try and show that there are people who just outright will punch the black dude when he goes near the white.
Yeah.
Then there are people who are like,
have a guy come over. It's like, hey buddy, come on now.
Or like just that when they're in the restaurant, like, can you listen? I have no problem with Negroes, which they would say.
Yeah.
Please, can you eat in the booth where no one can see you?
Yeah. Look, if you don't move, my boss is going to come out. Because I'm going to have to make you go.
And that would make a liberal point about there are people who just go along with the racism.
Yeah.
There are people who enable it by.
And it would be more interesting. And it would.
Maybe they just didn't have time for it, or maybe they weren't interested.
They had an hour.
I know. But maybe they just look. This is the one point we want to make.
Yeah.
And so there's no time for any of that.
I also like that the time traveling racist implies that Rosa Parks sitting down on the bus. That is where racism ended.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But think about Yaz on the bus. Like, shall I sit on the white seat? That could have been an opportunity to explore, to actually show the stupidity and kind of superficial vagaries of racism.
Yeah,
the bus driver comes up and is like, "Oh, don't sit there." It's like, "Oh, so what is it about my? If I was a bit darker, it'd be utterly unacceptable. If I was a bit lighter, like, what's your thinking there?" And they would have tripped over themselves trying to...
it's like...
you can't rationalize
You pointed out when you were talking briefly about I May Destroy You.
Yeah.
Where she's filling out that form in the hospital. She says, well, this form doesn't account for the nuance of what I am. It doesn't, it doesn't accurately express who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're white or you're black, and Yaz is neither. So it's like, well, what am I?
Yeah.
You haven't accounted for me.
Or it's like, try to, have a conversation with the horrible bigot.
Yeah.
And just show them for the idiot they are for having no basis at all for thinking the thing they do. What is it about the particularity of my shade that makes it okay for me to sit on this seat?
Yeah.
What if I'm a tanned white person? They would go, oh well, Negroes are bad.
Yeah.
And you could have done that.
But I'm not.
You could have done that.
I'm Mexican, as you've declared.
Right. But they didn't do it. They didn't do any of that.
No. Well, that's the thing, because it had to be about black people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we have Yaz with us.
Yeah.
Oh, but she doesn't really fit into that. Oh, we'll just have to ignore her.
Rosa Parks was married to a white guy, right?
Yeah. Was she?
Yeah, she is in the episode. They don't.
Oh, okay.
Again, the fact that you're like, okay, they don't do anything with that.
He's in it for all of about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd think they'd want to bring that point up.
Right. A big reveal. Ooh, her husband's white. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
But if we show the husband, then we can't depict all the white people as racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, although Rosa Parks was a catalyst for the civil rights movement, I think it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
To suggest
Again,
history.
Martin Luther King is in the episode. He probably helped quite a bit.
Yes.
You know, is the implication that Rosa Parks inspired Martin Luther King?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
I genuinely don't know. It's been a while since I've seen this episode.
Yeah, but I do think it's a stretch to say that things would still be exactly as they are now had Rosa Parks not done that. It just would have been something else.
Yeah.
That's not to, again...
It probably would have been MLK.
Yeah. Again, that's not to detract from what she did. I said to you, Jordan, even if human flight was inevitable, you still got to credit the Wright brothers with inventing the aeroplane.
Yeah.
Someone had to do it, and they should be celebrated. But it's a bit of a stretch. I think it's even more of a stretch to say that having an asteroid named after you can be defined as changing the universe. Just for that cheap fucking line at the end. She didn't just change the world, she changed the universe. That asteroid is Rosa Parks 251. Fuck you! She did change the universe. Someone just named something after her.
Yeah. Just have a bench named after her. She didn't just change the world, she changed the park.
Exactly, yeah. Rosa Parks.
I didn't even think of that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the racist time traveller is just a racist time traveller?
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it.
That'd frustrate. Like,
People will know, your can will know their place, and I'm waiting for the sci-fi stripping back of what he means. No, he's just a racist.
Yeah, well, the fact he's a time traveller, that's what makes it sci-fi, you see. But yeah, like, we want to depict characters or monsters that subscribe to, like, that Nazi nationalist ideology. Let's create the Daleks.
Yeah.
We want to do a monster that represents our loss of individuality and our dependence on technology. Let's create the Cybermen.
Yeah.
We want to do, farting green monsters. Let's do the Slovene.
Yeah.
We want to do a villain that embodies racism. A white guy.
Well, there's no metaphor, is there?
There is no metaphor. It's all surface.
He is what he is. So you could have done a story about... I know they want to do, I guess, that educational real life thing. You could have done a story about another planet where the certain species were granted workers' rights and whatever, and they've since, like, there's been uprisings and all that, and so one of them has to go back to do what he wants to do, but, like, we've got to strip these creatures of their... because they're going to cause... I know it's not analogous, but, like...
Yeah, but also that's still the same situation that you just added a couple of extra steps.
Yeah.
There's still not really a metaphor in there, I don't think.
Well, yeah, of course it's a metaphor for racial equality.
But it's not a metaphor in the same way that Kill the Moon was a metaphor for abortion. Like, this is the same situation, but we've just swapped humans with Globians.
Yeah, exactly. But Doctor Who does do that a lot, where it's just that story, but they're aliens.
Okay.
The point being that with this, there's absolutely no veil of anything. It is just a racist dude.
Yeah, exactly.
So, hilarious and then infuriating.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all I got to say about Doctor Who.
Okay. Was there anything else to say? Eddie, was there anything else to say?
No.
Kablam, I think, is the best episode of the series. That's not saying much.
You think that as well? Yeah. Fuck it. All right, I'll agree.
Okay.
I don't know. I know Rosa. I'm going to say Rosa.
Oh, really?
Just because at least half of it was funny.
Okay. Yeah, but that's not sincerely like, it was a good episode, is it?
Oh, no. But especially when the moment where she decides to sit down. Yes, I quite like the...
Oh, I think you pointed this out to me before.
I'll bring it up now. I like the construct of the main characters have to cause a situation to happen that they aren't really involved in, and then, like, them sitting around it. I actually quite like that as an idea.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Like her, sitting, like, is it going to happen?
Yeah, they have to actively cause that to happen to Rosa Parks. That's quite interesting.
Just be present, knowing that they are in the presence of history.
Yeah, but just that. They have to sit through that abuse, and there's nothing they can do
about it. They have to let it happen. Yeah. That is good. But it's when she did finally sit down and they started playing the empowering music. That's a bit... I forgot. But the irony, the fundamental irony is the song was, and we rise, as she sits down. That was just funny. Like, we have to sit... It could have been like, we have to sit to stand or something.
Yeah.
We must rise. And it's like the show is racist, telling you, stand up. Get off the bus, bitch. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna say Rosa was the best episode.
Okay, all right. Well, that's quite a
claim.
Quite a claim.
Yeah.
Is there even doing the whole? So what's your favorite season? It's not going to change now, right?
It's done. I'm done. Yeah. I won't say it now because we'll have the in summary conversation
next podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing's going to change now.
No. Okay.
All right. Well, that's that then.
Well, that anticlimax.
Yeah.
We'll
do something.
That's Doctor Who.
Do something whimsical and spontaneous.
Oh fuck.
No, because that's how we end it.
Oh right.
Ketamine.
There you go.
Jordan, do something. Quickly, do something.